turn it around after the season that you had, which wasn't terrible. It was great, but it wasn't the TI winning ways that you were looking for.
Well, the season went fine. I mean, objectively, it's actually a very good season for us. We just came with a new mindset into this TI. We took it like a bit differently, changed roster, and just tried like our best. We thought we would do very well, but the group stage didn't go so well for us. But luckily, it doesn't matter now. So
You're going to be getting your wish. You're going to be facing No Tail in the grand final. You guys are going head to head, and now we are definitely going to see a repeat TI champion. What would that mean to you to be the one to do it?
it's my biggest goal, Dota-wise, right now, is to just take the Aegis before anyone else.
And what does it mean to be able to face last year's champions?
To be honest, in my heart, if it's not me, I wish it for No Tail. So this is either way, like, that's a very pure finals for me.
Have the two of you chatted since yesterday? I know that when we interviewed you yesterday, you mentioned that you guys during group stage talked to each other about like, let's try to meet in the grand final. Have you chatted since?
Yeah, just very short. Like basically, you just reaffirmed to me like, see you in the finals. I'm like, yeah.
How are you going to spend the next hour getting ready to come back so we can see you again?
I need to prepare for OG, so not much time. I have a good coach, so I have some papers prepared. I think I'm gonna relax now for like 5 minutes. And
5 whole minutes.
There's no time, right? TI is awesome schedule. It's okay. And just prepare for OG. I mean, they're obviously like the team to beat since the start of the tournament. Everybody saw OG is amazing. I think every time everybody does the same mistake of underrating No Tail. It's so silly. That guy is top 3 player of the world of all time. Will always be as long as he plays the game, and he can do anything. Like he can pick up anyone and just make a masterclass team very quickly and perform at TI. So he's my opponent, and I couldn't wish for a better opponent. And yeah,
I love hearing that. I know that we have a lot of fans in the stadium that we're rooting for a lot of different teams, but LGD was definitely a favorite. What do you want to say to the fans who are here in China who've been watching the best Dota in the world, but some of whom are a little disappointed that they won't see LGD?
I want to thank the fans. They have been very receiving of us, at least. So thank you very much. I know they wished for LGD to go for the finals, but there's competition, and I mean, the Chinese fans should be very proud. I think like top 3 is very good either way, and LGD also proved a lot of teams and people wrong just by showing up at this TI, and I think they had a very good year overall. They took, I think, 2 majors, and yeah, let's enjoy the finals.
You excited?
Yeah, a little bit. Just kidding. Let's go.
I love it. It's so great to chat with you after all these years and to just follow the story of everybody here. And I know we're in for a good grand final. So thank you for that. And congratulations for coming this far.
Thank you very much, Casey.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Casey, and thanks, Kuro, as well. That's about as excited as he gets these days. I did see him jump up in the booth yesterday after they won, which I was like, wow, he just jumped out. That's the first time I've ever seen him move after a match. He's a calm guy.
Yes.
Cool as a cucumber, I think we were saying the other day.
Once it comes outside of the booth, Kuro is everything when it comes to being calm and soft-spoken. Let's go. It's charming. It really is.
It is very
charming,
endearing.
and I'm very happy that Kuro is going to be seeing another grand finals. And I think that's really cool. We were talking about the story between Kuro and No Tail, and that little bit of brotherhood that they have. And I thought it was very sweet that he said, "If it's not me, then I want it to be No Tail."
Yeah, absolutely. I think in many ways this is the Legends final, isn't it? Because we finally get to see a 2-time winner, and I think only Puppy in my mind could have perhaps been there other than one of the other. But you could pick any of the 3, right? And it would have been a Legends final either way.
And it's these two have won the 2 most recent TI finals. As historic of a team as Secret's been, Puppy's TI goes way, way back. So the fact that OG and Liquid have won it so recently and have stayed in such good form, here competing with almost the identical rosters minus Matu is just phenomenal. We're making history.
It is. It's fantastic. Unfortunately, as we always say in these matches at this time of the year, in terms of the international, there is always a winner and there is always a team who have dropped out. Sadly, this time round, it's PSG LGD finishing in 3rd. Rich is with them right now.
Yeah, Paul, I think when we actually look at how that series went, there was a clear moment where all of a sudden it started to become difficult for you guys. There was some hesitation at the end of game 2. What changed?
I mean, we were just overconfident in our lineup, and at that stage, we think that we are invincible at the time. So we just took a risk and just go high ground like that, and leads us to a team wipe and stuff.
Right now, I've done all of these interviews when teams lose, and never has there been a crowd like this. You go into that arena, 18,000 people watching, countless watching online. When you get into the position where you are falling behind, is that a lot of pressure?
Yeah, definitely. When all the Chinese fans are actually having a very high expectation on us, and
When that pressure started to be something that you were aware of up on the main stage, do you feel like that affected your play at all?
I guess so. Yeah.
To all those fans who watch, the fans that are standing around us right now, is there anything that you want to say?
Sorry that we lost, and hope to come back stronger next year.
Well, congratulations on everything you did in this year, and to get to TI and to go as far as you did. Thank you for the interview. We're going to go back to the desk.
Yes, thanks very much, Rich. Yeah, Nova and PSG LGD should be proud, obviously, of finishing third at TI. It's never to be sniffed at. It's a significant achievement when you build the whole year, but it's disappointment for them because of the way it's happened. It's here in China, and the fact that they were so close.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, every team at this point, right, thinks, or even
acknowledging the fact that they got overconfident, especially since that was the same story from last year as well, and being able to get so close that it's really got a sting.
How many times does that happen in a game of Dota, though, for everyone, not just the top pros, but we've all experienced that moment where it feels this is the right time to go in. We should win the game here, and it works the other way around. You get stomped. How many times does that happen? There's a lot, right? And
it's a common tale.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's these teams who are behind, and they know when you're playing from behind, you see that one opening to get you back in the game, and that's where Liquid were defending their high ground. That was the exact place to make to punish LGD, who just, they got caught out.
A little bit, tiny bit more experience in those situations, do you think? A little bit of calmness in the Liquid booth?
Calmness, certainly. And I think PSGLG, the history of how things went down last year, obviously probably somewhat on the back of their minds, even if they're trying to tune it out. And for Liquid, they've made this low bracket run. They're playing more carefree, and it showed.
Yeah, first team to ever make the grand finals at the International, having started in the very first round, Grant. What an achievement that is already.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he talked about, he's like, the hardest match for us was that BO1. You get past it, and then you go through these EGs, these secrets, these PSG, LGDs, like top 5 teams in the world, and you just breeze on through. This one, well, you didn't breeze through this one. Obviously, very tough. But that last game, it felt like they were back on track to what they were doing earlier in the main stage.
Yeah, phenomenal. Some final words on PSG LGD, because it's obviously they've gone out in third. It's a disappointment, but as I said earlier, it's a good result overall, considering the season they've had as well. It's not been the best season for them, and they've come back strong again. They can do it again.
Only one team can win.
Right now, we're going to turn around and end this game right now, and instead it goes the full distance in a full series, and they end up falling. So it's rough. It's rough for LGD.
Rough in particular for FY as well, Grant.
Yeah.
A second, a third, a fourth.
Time after time, it just keeps happening, and I mean, it's just hard because he played a phenomenal. Maybe I'm not FY God anymore, and it gets into your head even, and it does. It just feels real bad for him.
Okay. Well, if you're just joining us and you're thinking, what's all this fun? us about what's going on here. Welcome to the International 2019. It's Championship Sunday, and we now know our grand finalists. Let's check back in with a recap of series number 1 of the day.
However, they see it, and he corners the backline, the gyrocopter dying quickly, further disruption. Are you kidding me? FY is just creating so much space to allow something to rip into Team Liquid. 2 on the big cause down the stolen corner. Why not? FY! That's the game. Everyone's got
good position here. They're going to try to go for mind control.
Maybe they can get this with the 3 heroes wind up. Let it no! The curse! GH was there! He'll stop the ball. They'll beat the They're throwing corpses at Team Liquid, trying to repel them out of their base and keep the TI9 hopes alive. As the Raxes, they will all go down. But they fight back. Fuck! Come here, boys.
Yeah, fantastic. Those are the memories we take away from some of the most magical games that we get all year round in the grant of this event, and stretching right back. Some 190 games ago.
Fakers, Enigmas, they've kind of gone to the way. Actually counterpicking, like Liquid fully count.
Yeah, we're definitely going to figure out what it's going to look like. I know one man who's been particularly passionate about it, and find out what he's got for us in terms of the meta through
heroes that have really dictated the first round of bans and picks. And we're going to pull up a replay for each to really show you what makes these heroes and we've all known Alchemist has this 6-slotted, really fast. And here you're going to see that he is able to participate once he gets a Radiance. Probably not going to get to see it, and this is exactly why. And the next hero I want to highlight that we probably won't see this series is Enchantress. Every carry's worst nightmare. You're going to blow all this magic damage in the mid game to kill this Enchantress, and this is exactly what happens. No, those heroes are not in slow motion. They are trying to attack an Enchantress, and he's just going to walk away, and he's going to turn it around and kill Arteezy, and that's exactly what I like to think about when I see an Enchantress pull that one off. And Tiny, a hero we've always known as a mid-game damage dealer, suddenly he has this tree popping the Eon Disc on the Bane, and it's only a 12-second cooldown. So we're going to see it come out one more time to help bring down this Enchantress. And this is the best emote I could come up with that one, because that's pretty much what it looks like when you're playing against Tiny Tree Volley into the late game. And for the last clip, for a TI meta, what better hero to show than Rubik? Yes, we did just see this highlight, but Rubik for FY, we've seen it on almost every popular team this tournament, has the stolen disruption to save from the Chrono, similar to the IO, of a hero that offers it all in the mid to late game. And you're going to see him not only take that save, but turn the Chrono into a final blow for Team LGD against Liquid, but mainly going into this finals, we're going to see some of these heroes be first rounded, and some of them never see them at all, and this is why. They're just so annoying to deal with.
Yep, indeed. I have to say, though, this is kind of hilarious to watch.
Fun, yeah.
It is. Thank you, Brian. It's a fantastic breakdown on the meta. It's been an interesting tournament overall, isn't it?
So many heroes picked.
Yeah.
Such a diverse pool. We've seen
114, I think, picked now. 117. All 117.
Just missing
picked,
3
all banned.
picks.
We're missing 3 picks. That's it.
And yeah,
it's incredible.
It seems so much stuff is viable, but there is a very clear upper echelon of those tier 1 picks.
Yep.
I think that's it's really cool that IceFrog's approach of being able to kind of revitalize the whole of Dota 2. Like, there's only so many heroes that you can change again. It feels like you balance them out pretty well, but the combination of introducing talents and then most recently being able to give everybody an INTERCEPTOR so everybody has that option to be able to go for. You know, there's some interesting ideas that are floating around with INTERCEPTORs, and a lot of these that people initially did not expect to be quite strong, like the tree volley, for example. People thought, oh, maybe it's a late, like, 5th, 6th item. Next thing you know, it ends up being like the first big item you get as a core tiny. You know, that's what I love about Dota 2 is how open it is, and you're able to express yourself with that creativity via these various heroes and builds.
Absolutely. Talking of creativity, we also have a very creative member of our broadcast team who is out there talking to fans. So Action Slacks.
Hello, hello. How we doing out there, world? Guys, you doing all right?
Yeah, we're really good.
What are your names?
My name is Shaza. We're from...
Cesare, I'm her husband.
A husband? Oh my God, I wish my wife liked Dota. That's fantastic. Guys, I want to talk to you about TI. You guys having a good time?
Amazing time. Amazing.
What's your favorite moment so far?
I mean, we're huge fans of, you know, OG.
I told you, no teams. I told you, don't talk about teams. We're talking about TI.
I mean, we were in Vancouver last year for a honeymoon. So this year is kind of like a second honeymoon, so it's kind of cool.
Yep.
My goodness, love bred by Dota. You guys are the 1% of Dota players. Most only know hate and sadness. You guys know love.
Love. All love here.
All love.
That's wonderful. Let's move on so we don't set false expectations. Guys, how you liking Dota 2? How you liking TI?
This is, well, the excitement, something that you cannot expect. No one has ever expected that Liquid, I have to make an example. Yes.
I told you guys not to talk about TI.
Okay, I mean, no one knows which team will perform better in the TI. It is like some teams just get the 5 or 6 in the majors. Yes. But in the TI, they just rise again and again and again.
Man, you're a hype man. You should be on the panel. Doing much better than Kyle does. Guys, I want to talk to you about your thoughts on having a repeat champion. Does this mean anything to you as Dota fans?
Yes, I am so happy to be here, to be able to see the first 2-time TI winning team. Like, right now my brackets are just completely destroyed. I'm going to be losing a lot of levels, but that's okay because this is just amazing so far.
Favorite part so far?
Favorite part? 2-time winner.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. And I'm very excited for the grand finals. I hope there's a best of 5. I love both teams equally, and I just want to see some good Dota.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Exciting. And our last boys up here. Hello. I came all the way. Hey!
Let's go, Liquid.
Let's go, Liquid. Let's go,
Liquid.
Wow, wow, wow. We got a while before Liquid. All right, talk to me about your TI experience. Favorite part so far?
We came all the way here from Aussie land.
From Aussie land, right?
From down under. From down under. All our throat is absolutely sore.
Yeah, I'm cocked. No more karaoke for me.
Yep.
Best part of TI, I reckon, was when Secret won that game with the Meepo.
Oh. Yes, that was the best. That was the best match.
That's when we lost our voices. We were devastated. It was
devastated.
We walked out and we heard the screaming because we thought we lost this. Then boom.
We already walked out and then bang, the stadium erupted.
Came back and I was like, oh, but I've got to wipe, but I've got to do something. I just ran back in.
Guys, you're the hypest 2 dudes I've talked to so far. Do you have any dreams that you've ever wanted to do on camera before? I know I interviewed you. You were here last year in Vancouver.
I was in Vancouver last year.
I remember you.
Yeah, oh, really? Yeah. With dreams on camera? I love my girlfriend. Hi.
Hi, Mom. I'm the 3rd disciple of GH. He's a god. Thank you.
All right. Well, that was weird. Thanks, everybody. And back to you guys on the panel. We're having fun out here.
I can tell. Didn't think you'd get stuck with one of those hello mum kind of guys, but well done, Jake.
Love you, Mom!
I'm surprised he hasn't done that one already the last 3 years. He's having a lot of fun out there. We've had a lot of fun as well. It's been a great event. We've also seen a couple of new heroes. We haven't had a chance to talk about them very much, but we've seen a couple of new heroes. What do you make of it? Early days.
Fun, exciting. I want to see what they are. I want to know more about them.
The fifth spirit.
Fourth, right?
The fifth. Stop ignoring Venge.
It's
I know. So you can make a whole team of spirits and then have them killed by Spirit Breaker.
I'm just thought this one through.
I'm already on this stuff. I'm already on that.
No, I'm just super excited, right? 2 new heroes. Who knows, right? We've seen support heroes turn into carry heroes already. Who knows? The first time we see a hero could be like, this is a support, and then next TI, all of a sudden, Anna's playing it as a carry, and you're like, oh my goodness.
That's true. It could turn around. I'm just hoping it's an offlaner, the Void Spirit. Because then you really can have a whole team of spirits, and they can play with them all. So you can have Storm.
Oh, okay.
Ember.
Yeah.
It works, right?
It would be crazy. Someone will do it. Someone like OG would do it. They're like, let's meme it up. Oh.
Team Spirit could do it.
Cap's getting mad.
See, this is 200 IQ level stuff, this is. Cap's not having any of this. Cap, come on, join in. Have some fun with heroes.
You're excited for a hero, right?
Let's just say it raised my spirits.
What about Cookie Girl?
What? You said join in on the fun. That's all you can give me? Oh.
Fun. Cookies.
I'm looking forward to Granny.
Dragons.
Snapfire? Is that what her name is? I'm going to call it Granny because the whole whatever it is, like the names don't really quite work since there are other heroes that also have that name. What's her name?
Snapfire, right?
Snapfire, right?
Yeah, Snapfire.
But you know what, you
so
guys...
You can call her SF.
Yeah, she's not SF.
No, she's not SF because we've already got one of those.
Yeah.
Granny. Yeah, Granny.
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 Yeah, that's good.
I was just going to go with cookies.
Pick Grandma.
I'm just going to cookies. It's fine, right? Whilst we're busy inventing new names for heroes that have already been released, you may have missed them. So, in case you did miss them, here's what you missed.
Don't let this party scene fool you. This world is a dangerous place. When you get to be my age, you'll see friends come and go. It's important to take care of the ones still kicking. In the heat of battle, you'd be surprised how far a little kindness might go. But not everyone deserves kindness. Hello, Auntie. This all you brought? Yes. Oh. I didn't offer to share.
Long have my celestial brothers beckoned, but I abhor the blindness of the mortal plane. From the void, nothing escapes my notice. No secret lies beyond my grasp. Yet, soon I must finally step from my hidden bastion to wage battle alongside my brothers and save them for a greater cause to come. 准备好，凡人们，很快将会惊天动地，而我的时代也终将来临。
The Outlanders Fall 2019. I know some of you might think that that cannot come fast enough. But, you know, you gotta hold your horses for a little bit. We're still having to go the TI9 Grand Finals. Now, before we get to that, first let me welcome in the people by my side. Lacoste, Trent, Cap, great to have you here for the final chapter of the OG Liquid story. Should be a good one. But before we get to that story, we're going to talk about some other stories about way back. TI1, and I think Lacoste is the only one there.
Oh yeah, it was back in the days when Dota was quite different. We didn't have all the heroes, and when TI was first announced, I think a lot of the people didn't believe that it's actually happening. $1 million, $1.6 million prize pool for everyone, and before that we had the tournaments with maybe 50,000 max, and some of
and
that
they
money.
Didn't pay out.
Sometimes they didn't even pay out. We were about to see how things are going to go. We're going to go to the international. We also got the PCs from Valve for those who couldn't run it. So pretty good stuff, you know. And
yeah, little known as well. You got a PC? People got PCs,
I didn't
then?
because I was dumb. I said I have a good one. I mean, I regretted it after, but you know me. I'm a cool guy. I'm not going to lie.
No, that's fair enough.
The dark ages when tournaments didn't pay out. That was truly a rough time. But I remember watching my first TI1. I remember watching Lacoste there.
How did you feel about it?
So for me it was like I remember the first TI finally started and they had technical issues. And so it was delayed and delayed and delayed. And it was probably, I think, like an hour or so delayed until it finally showed up. And I think it was like about 4 a.m. And I finally got to see the first draft screen. I finally got to see my first bit of Dota. And then I was just so exhausted. I had to work the next day, so I just passed out.
Yeah, some heroes were unrecognizable. You were just like, what is this hero? Spells were just flying out. You didn't know what was happening. Some of the teams playing at the TI didn't know what spells were being casted. Like because we didn't have much time to practice. I think we got our keys a month and a half before. Wow. At TI2, it was a bit better, I would say. More heroes, and you know what you were heading into. You know that the money is guaranteed. The teams had more time to practice. You also had a full year to prepare. And
first time in the Battle Royale Hall as well. And apparently Lacoste is going to continue his TI tradition of choking.
Yeah, exactly. I've set that up correctly. I wanted to say it myself.
Thanks for the setup, buddy. Hey.
I'm fine. I'm good.
You're good. I was actually at TI2. It was the first TI I was at as well. So, it was a lot of excitement. At that point, TI was more about, I don't know, I just felt everybody was there. Everybody got an invite that was even remotely active in Dota 2, in the Dota 2 scene. Like, just come out and watch the games with us, you know? You don't need to do anything. I ended up doing something there as well, interviewing for my first time ever. It was great. But that was a great TI. It felt very friendly. I remember, I think I met Lacoste at the after party. Now, the after party was in the Battle Royale Hall, in the lobby, and it kind of started when the tournament was still going on. And the lobby was also the place where the panel was at.
It was a bit different.
This sounds like a great idea. Can we bring that back? We can just have a party going on during Game 4.
I have a very distinct image in my head of like TI is finished up, and there was that DJ and his little booth set up, and just like a few lights going on in the ground, and there was like one person trying to dance. Nobody else.
Can you name
was
that
interested.
person?
I cannot name that person. I don't remember who it was, but it was pretty funny.
What was the first TI you went to, Cap?
I mean, it was TI2.
TI2?
Yeah, I didn't. TI1 was a little too far away. I was just excited to be able to watch it. But
I didn't even know what was going on, I'm not going to lie. I was like, you know, it's great that it happened, but and I should have been there. Hindsight, obviously, but that's how that goes. You know, I also should have started a YouTube channel in 2005, because that would have been
True.
you know, it doesn't happen. TI3. I mean, we're gonna go through all of them.
I like it.
TI3 was everybody remembers the finals.
No
Obviously,
one remembers anything before that.
Nobody, yeah. Because every time people talk about TI3, it's like, wow, that was one of the best finals ever. And I say one of the best because obviously TI8 was now maybe, you know, competitor for that.
Come on, you remember one other moment, right? Is that even balanced?
Oh yeah, was that from TI3?
Yeah, that was the third place.
That was the Pudge. Was that the Pudge and
I think that
the
was
Chen
TI2.
reference?
Was it?
Was it not TI2?
Oh.
No, fountain hooking was TI3. That was the first
Okay.
TI I ever saw.
All right.
Yeah. That was pretty crazy. I started playing like halfway through that year. I never heard of Dota. I was told that I could get free TF2 items. Shout out to all you Team Fortress players. Yeah, I see you out there. And my friend's like, yo, just come play Dota with us. You can get more TF2 items this way. Like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Started playing Dota. I remember the first time I ever played it, my brother yelled from his room and said, come play for me. I have to go. And I was playing Puck on the off lane, and I killed a guy, and I just like, this game's awesome. Oh,
Did he leave right after?
Ever.
Because that's what was happening back in the days. Like
Yeah.
you kill someone to just straight out leave the game.
Yeah, but the problem was that inspired me to play Puck, which I believe still holds a 30% win rate on my Dota because I
Because you
never
played it,
became
like,
a Puck player.
Only a couple times.
No, I played it like way too many times and I had no idea how to play Dota. But and then came TI3, and that was, of course, so inspirational, and you're just like, wow, this community is absolutely ridiculous.
Was that the first time there was crowdfunding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. People weren't really into all the cosmetics yet at that point. Or at least maybe Valve hadn't unlocked their full potential of realizing.
We're going really deep here.
Yeah, you know, but this is a big thing because as you know the years go by, we have a prize pool of near $35 million. We started at thinking a $1 million for the winning team, never gonna happen. That was just 9 years ago.
Start off with TI1 having some basically basement broadcast happening there, and now we're full panels, $35 million. We got two different panels. That's
We got
true.
two different
We've got
panels.
an
Four
analyst
those
on
now.
standby, just ready to go at any point. If we want to point to him, maybe we'll get to you later.
We
Kyle,
will,
but-
because you know my plan was to go through all the finals. Hey, Kyle. And you know we all have our own memories of different finals or different TIs. We were gonna go past TI4, which was very long that TI, and we're gonna go to TI5.
Wow, you're just really skipping over TI4 just like the rest of Dota 2 historians? That is
that
savage.
finals.
Yeah, we don't talk about it.
45-minute grand finals.
Woo! TI4 was the first TI in Key Arena. And I think that was a phenomenal experience. The panel was sitting inside the crowd. I think we really, you know, we scaled it up from Benaroya Hall, which is an amazing location, to Arena.
It was intimate. Then you got
Benaroya
Arena.
Hall was intimate, and then you got an Arena, which was massive. It was very exciting. Apart from the finals. TI5 was very exciting as well, but we're of course having Kyle sitting in a corner because of his experience with TI6.
Hi, Kyle. We're real excited to break down these late TIs. We're going to get into the past.
Kyle, where were you in TI6? What team
we're
were
going to
you
get into
playing
that.
for?
We're not really quite there
wow,
yet.
we're really going
I want to
back.
bring this up. So key point, TI6. This is the wild card loser bracket round 2. You don't win this game, you're eliminated
Okay.
from TI.
So we gotta assume, Kyle.
So
okay, go for it first.
Well, first, you notice what's not banned here. The Abed Meepo. He had lost one game in his entire career on Meepo up until this point. So we're going to watch the draft. Unbelievable execution take the Meepo. We've got to keep this in mind for this series, right? because if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. As we can see, this clip, wow, this is a really long clip. Yeah, Meepo wins. We're going to just, everyone knows what happened here. Abed, execration, they move on. They competed at the main event of TI6, did quite well. And yeah, that's the end of that one. Now, back even further, TI5. Check this out. We're going to pause in just a second. The Storm
is it.
Spirit,
Oh,
you notice what's missing from his inventory. That's right, he drops the Yules to Soul Ring. However,
who does?
Swindlemelons, one of the best mid players at TI5, the only person to win a lane against Sumail, according to the legend himself. As you can see, he gets 100-0 locked down. goes down. Rubik, hero of the tournament, kills both the hero and the, apparently we have it in slow motion.
This is better.
If you really wanted to see it, as his dreams, like his Yules, are shattered on the ground as the trees.
Aren't you happy there weren't sprays
share
back
his
then?
anguish? I am very happy there weren't.
Can you
sprays.
imagine the tipping that would
Really quick fingers
You know,
there by Earthshaker.
Going even further back, right? 27 years ago, my parents made a big mistake. But look at me now. I'm at the TI finals, and I'm just so psyched to be here. Throw it back to you, Sheeves.
You're too harsh on yourself, Kyle. I do also want to point out, there might be a lot of people watching that have not got a single clue what's going on right now. Swindle Balance, the person that he's talking about, is actually Kyle. And yeah, he has made some mistakes in TI history. That he just, he wanted to reflect. This is very cathartic for him, I bet. I hope it is, because otherwise I'm not sure.
I was about to say, I love Kyle because whoever came up with that that whole idea of a segment, I don't know if it was yourself, Kyle. Did you come up with that or somebody else?
I was inspired, and they made me do it after. I mean,
I think,
I love you for
I think
going
a lot
for
of
it.
people were inspired to not drop items on the ground anymore after
Everybody
that.
was doing it before Kyle did
And
it,
everybody started banning out Abed or keeping at least Abed's Meepo in mind in all the games to come as well.
You're a part of history, Kyle.
Very, very much so.
Hey, if you make fun of yourself, you don't hurt anybody's feelings, right?
True.
Only your own.
All right, guys.
Cut the camera. Cut the camera. Cut the camera.
Thank you.
That wasn't a loser's interview. This is not the time for tears.
Hey, we're going to continue on because that was, of course, TI6 for Kyle in a nutshell. We're going to move to TI7 because TI7 was the first time a team that started out in the upper bracket, went to the loser bracket, and then made a run all the way to the finals and won it. It was a clean 3-0 sweep for the first time in TI history. A team won without dropping a single game in the grand finals, and that team is Team Liquid.
Their
Almost the
miraculous run at TI7, they might repeat it here with even... They dropped at the lower bracket round 2 at TI7, and now they were in lower bracket round 1. So if they win this one, they're going to do even better. I love these kind of stories. And, I also love memes as well. So this is... It's kicking in. They also have OG in the grand finals here.
I mean, Lucas, you got a time to actually be able to play against Kuro back in his heyday, right? Like, what was that like? What did you view Kuro as a player back then?
He was. I mean, I know Kuro since Dota 1 days. Yeah. I mean, we played. We didn't ever played on a team, but against each other. And he was always a calm guy. Always comes, talks to you about a lot of different stuff. His ideas about Dota were always kind of different than the other people. I guess that's why him and Puppy are the only ones who attended all 9 TIs, because he had different ideas and he's sticking with them. He's not giving up on his opinion.
Yeah, his dream and his goal to be the first person to take 2, right? He's very, very close, but so is OG, because after TI7, it was supposed to be a Chinese year, and it turned out not to be. We saw LGD go up against OG, and that was an exciting 5-game series that OG ended up winning despite having the roughest time before TI anybody has ever had.
Yeah, that's a true comeback story, I guess, right? Like the ultimate underdogs, basically as if Infamous were to win this TI. Thank you, Liquid Dota Power Rankings. That's what it was. I mean, you weren't stupid to have them that low. It was a fair assumption based off of what had happened to that team. They were completely dismantled, had to be put back together. They grabbed Seb, who, as much as we all love, and of course was a high MMR player, people were still just like, can he really hang? The TI crowd. I mean, that was definitely the attitude towards it. And he has clearly proven that he has the capability to do that again.
Yes.
Has he really proved it?
Yeah. I mean, has he? I don't know.
I mean, has he? Come on.
I think he did.
All or nothing,
shutting up all the haters out there.
Yeah, because there were, even after they won that TI International 2018, there were still a lot of haters, Cap. There were a lot of people that said, you know what? They got lucky.
F-word.
The fluke
The fluke word.
Yeah, the fluke TI.
Lucky.
Yeah. People would equate them to Digital Chaos and their run. It was like, oh, great, you figured something out. It worked really well for you, but you'll never see that position again. And somehow, some way, OG, despite even having not the greatest year throughout the DBC, they were not a front runner or anywhere really close to it. There was probably a long list of teams at least 5 that you would put in front of them, right? Yeah. And they still managed to be the most dominant team upon entering TI. Just destroys the group stage. people are like, oh, well, they're going to get figured out like at some point in time because you've shown all your cards, but they just continue to run through the upper bracket and are now waiting for Team Liquid.
It is almost an unbelievable story, right? And then against them is Team Liquid, who, well, also had a very rough year, actually. They missed out on the first minor or major. They couldn't qualify, and I think they dropped out of the minor after dropping to the lower bracket because they didn't, I don't know, they just decided to skip out on that one. And then you see them in the group stage, and they look kind of lost.
They're one of the teams that I personally kind of expected to be in the lower part of the bracket, based on their performance throughout the year, especially the end of the season. And here they are. But by playing each single game, they become much, much stronger. You can see the kind of mini meta developing inside their team and getting a huge boost in the confidence after each single win.
I imagine the last major must have helped too, right? The fact that you have this opportunity to prove yourself, they were kind of looking at it as practice, I would guess, right? Okay, we're a new team. Let's see how we gel together. And then you wind up going right to the finals of the major. Like, it doesn't get a whole lot better than that.
You get to figure out whether or not Wind Ranger is a viable hero.
Yeah, they figured it out.
Stuff like that. Yeah. I think what's really interesting about these two teams matched up in the finals as well is there's another story about like how OG on their way to a TI run, right, got shattered by players leaving them. And for this TI, Liquid actually have the opposite situation where they, as a team, and mostly Kuro as a captain, had to choose to kick someone. And, the interview was really interesting from Kuro talking about that and saying, it wasn't necessarily about Matama Man. He was basically the victim in this situation where we needed to be able to revitalize the team. And it says a lot about motivation. I think what's so cool about the International is, and Dota 2 in general as an esport, is its history. And the fact that we have come so far without being able to crown a TI winner twice, that's finally going to be broken.
Yes.
And so much of that comes down to motivation and being able to maintain that will to push through all of these tough competitors to be the best.
And to adapt, because Dota changes. That's why we love it.
Yeah.
That's why it's been around
Yep.
forever. And it's crazy that you could have the same roster that won a TI, and then you could be going towards TI and be like, oh, this won't work. I mean, how can we possibly win TI with this guy? It's amazing that you have to try and adapt yourself to those changes and really make that hard decision of just like, someone's got to go.
Someone's got, and it worked, It's got them to the finals.
See.
Well, I think already getting to the finals is a great achievement regardless. We are going to have a two-time champion, guaranteed. There are going to be 9 TI champions playing on the stage, 10 people on the stage that have played in TI final before, because you mentioned the Digital Chaos run, Cap. That one had a Weehai in it, so he has got experience with the amount of pressure. We talk a lot about the TI pressure, and I think everybody has seen the true sides from both Liquid and OG in their respective finals runs. There is one overarching story there that goes for both. They were all fairly comfortable and just like focus on the Dota. Don't think about winning. Don't think about anything else. Just relax and have fun with it.
Yeah, these are all experienced players that played at multiple LAN events. I remember like my first LAN event where your hands are actually shaking. You're doing a lot of mistakes. After you play a couple of those, you don't really care whether you're playing inside the arena because you used to be playing only at home. And after that, it's just your mental strength that is growing after that.
Yeah, it has been a crazy road to the finals for these teams in a mental way, also in a Dota way though, and we do have a recap for you on how these teams got to the finals.
Everyone thinks they know what it takes to become a champion, but so few actually face the hurdles that litter the road to victory. To claim the Aegis takes everything you can muster, more than you even knew you had.
Thompson waiting under the tower. He's just tanking through all of it. A triple kill for Thompson. And now the jump in from Freeman in the corner. Toss them down. This may just be it with none of them.
You need the courage to fight, the will to overcome adversity, the confidence to outlast doubt.
He'll keep himself 7 has it. Kill Miracle. He has no buyback, dead for 2 minutes.
But Setsu's isolated.
And RNG have lost everything.
We go, concoction again. Back up together. Finish finish it in style. This game's over.
You need to stand tall against your enemies and embrace the strengths of your friends. You will be tested.
He can jump in if he wants to. Thinking about it, Fisher to open up GH, the Echo Slam. Is it quite going to be enough? They have the Ravage to try and turn it. Weehaw so freaking low as they all are getting torn apart. Nisha.
You will be battered and bent, but never broken. You will follow in the footsteps of legends and trust that someday others will follow in yours.
Activate Soul Catcher on him, press the attack though, helping him out, Earth Splitter. Oh, but
They got the duel.
They caught on, man. He's dead for 2 minutes. The volley's coming in, but it's not good enough. OG are going to the grand finals for the second.
You will understand the magnitude of each moment without losing sight of the prize ahead. Because you know this is your time. This is your fight. It's all on the line.
All on the line for Team Liquid and OG. This is a battle that for me goes back to 2015. That's when these two squads, different iterations, were formed, and they were kind of formed around the same time. It's when the original Secret fell apart. It's when that was the biggest shuffle that I think we witnessed in Dota 2 history to date. Kind of scared for the ones
for it.
What were their original squad names? Monkey Business and
Business.
Jungs?
5 Jungs.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
Damn.
And that first major that came around when those two teams were formed, it was the Boston major at that point. OG ended up winning that, and this European qualifier, it wasn't really European qualifier, it was Europe and CIS together.
Yes.
And it had Secret, Virtus Pro, it was a different Secret then, of course, Virtus Pro, Liquid, at Finim, and OG.
Yeah.
These 5, and only 3 or 2 would make it through, I think 3 at that point. It was so crazy. I remember everybody being so just baffled by the fact that Liquid didn't make it to that major. And neither did Secret, actually.
I mean, considering how good Adfinem was playing back in the days and their magical run as well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, there were some magical runs in there. A lot of emotions that we've seen from OG over the years, and actually over the last couple of days as well. We saw No-Tail in a winner's interview yesterday, and we just want you to see that again in case you missed it.
Before this tournament, things were a bit dark. My dog had died, and yeah, it was really rough for a couple of weeks.
Sorry.
My self-esteem was pretty low, and now we're here. Sebastian, I mean, honestly, I dedicate this tournament to him. Oh, fuck, this is so crazy.
You're making me cry. Stop it.
No, but really, thank you, Sebastian, and of course, everyone else. Just feeling so fucking lucky, feeling so fucking good. Yeah. Fucking adrenaline, I'm shaking.
What a roller coaster of emotion in just 20 seconds. Not even 20, 10 seconds. Right?
All
You
the
start
way
off being
up.
sad.
All the way down.
I mean, it is crazy. Reaching the TI Grand Finals 2 years in a row. What are the odds of that? Is there any odds for that? I don't think so, Trent.
Nahaz?
Nahaz?
Any odds?
no stats from Nahaz for that
You
one.
know it's serious when Alan's speechless.
I mean, that is unheard of. We have, of course, seen Navi squad being in finals back-to-back, but never the same squad, never the same 5 players. So this is already a phenomenal achievement. And then also facing a team with 4 other TI Grand Finalist champions.
It goes to show that OG really is something special, right? The fact that Liquid had to kick somebody to be able to revitalize the entire team, to be able to add something else to the squad. And OG was just able to do it through sheer willpower and momentum, I guess. And in a lot of ways, you saw No-Tail saying that, like, it was a really dark moment before this tournament, and he turned to his teammates and his friends, and apparently in particular Seb, And they were all there to support him and have brought him along in this journey all the way to the grand finals.
And he said he can't even imagine playing Dota with anyone else now, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can really picture anyone else on OG.
No.
I mean, even though they were
Never
together
again.
that long, when I'm watching them play through the year, and then you have like Anna leaving for a bit, and you have these stand-ins coming in, you're just like, you're not OG.
Yeah, you're not part of our
that's not my
family. We
OG
need
right here.
Anna back. I mean, sometimes you have this connection with a certain player that not just playing Dota, it's like you have this friend that you travel with to every single event. I mean, I've said it yesterday, they're basically your family.
Yes.
So it's not just a team, it's Dota that brings people together.
Like No Till and Fly used to be.
Well, this turned dark real quickly.
I mean, this is the roller coaster of emotions. This is what we're
roller
doing
coaster
here.
of emotions.
In a lot of ways, though, that I don't think No Tail and Fly ever experienced these kind of deep emotions, right? They went through a lot together, but they were always like a relatively, okay squad, but didn't really experience the highest of highs nor the lowest of lows. Maybe in the
Achieving that
Heroes
life
and New Earth
goal.
days, right?
Yeah.
But in the age of Dota 2, where they're deeper into adulthood and stuff, like it's really that combination of No Tail and Seb who went through the most incredible experiences, and those kind of trials, both like being able to get those successes, but also the trials, the awfulness. It really binds you together with somebody.
It really does. I think the international really binds to us all. It's an international tournament that has been around for 9 years already, and a 10th hopefully next year as well. And with that in mind, special announcement for you.
Dandy, he goes for the dream call, he gets him. Navi have just won $1 million.
Patience from Zoe. Navi's about to be caught. Oh, this could be a total disaster. Vacuum in. Ravage on everyone. Alliance are doing it. The Kings of the North. Alliance wins. The Chrono's on two. Green dead for VG.
BPD, here comes the Ice Blast ready for the turn. Into the faster. He runs the wings. No patience. Liquid have done it. Is it on? They'll say.
The International is a celebration of the enormous power of professional Dota and of the community that has taken part in the journey from the very first International to the one we're all watching today. Next year, Stockholm is excited to host this global celebration by welcoming the 10th International Dota 2 Championship to our wonderful city. And Stockholm is bursting of creativity, and the passion for Dota runs deep. And we are honored to host the world in cheering on your favorite teams while paying a tribute to a decade of champions as they compete for the most prestigious trophy in all of esports.
Stockholm, Sweden, home to some of the grassroots tournaments in Dota 1, in Dota 2, home to, of course, all the dream hacks that people went to in your 9, your 12. You grow up with that. You grow up with that LAN experience, and now home to the International 2020 or TI10. Now we got to choose.
The International is back to Europe, baby, after all these years.
You finally did it.
Yes,
you got
we
in
did.
here, show up to TI, and look where it goes next.
Is it still not on the other side of Europe for you?
No, it's still closer than all the other teams.
That's true.
I mean, does this confirm Europe as the strongest region?
I think,
besides 2 teams being in the grand finals?
and 3 of them being in the top 4.
I just hope people don't start taking this as, it must be if the champions, whoever wins the H is going to be able to get the
no
international in their region.
Anna tried his hardest for
because
it.
it'll never come back to the U.S. if that's the case.
Come on. And it can't be. I think people, though, underestimate the amount of prep that goes into, creating a tournament like this. You can't decide a year before, let's go anywhere. You got to do that like a year and a half in advance, or at least a year and a half, I think, something like that. I don't know. I don't organize tournaments. I just talk about them lovingly, actually. And I'm going to also talk about these grand finals, because we have talked a lot about the roads these teams have taken. We haven't really talked too much about the players in those teams. And I want to do that too, because these two teams, as much as they have an immense history together in terms of performing against each other, they also have some intricacies in terms of players. We got on one side, in the OG side, there's HyperX. And on the other side, in the Liquid side, it's Miracle. This is, by the way, some live footage. Players getting ready to enter the pods. In case you're wondering what...
They're being searched for...
He's doing his stretches.
At first, I thought No-Tail. Like, the first shot of him holding out both arms, I was like, is this some sort of, like, meditation technique or what's going on here? But obviously, they're making sure that...
So they can't... Why we see all the stacks of papers is because you can't take any technology into the booth. The phones are taken away by the admins as well. You saw them still holding it because that's the only thing you can kind of still have, and the rest is gonna... It's just paper, nothing else. Obviously, fair playing field and all that.
A lot of paper.
A lot of paper. I'm expecting everybody to be carrying around stacks. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like the first time they did that didn't really work out as well. That first game that OG had against PSG LGD wasn't their strongest one.
Do they need the stacks of paper, though? They're not matched up against LGD anymore. Just watched Liquid watching themselves on the TV screen. That was a very cute
Get
moment.
that infinite vision, like, whoa, yeah, there we go.
It's always fun to see the players laughing a little bit beforehand. There's a lot of talk about what you do right before TI. Maybe, for example, sorry, not FY. Rather, he goes out and takes a smoke. Yeah. And I see him always outside just before the match. He just tries to calm down. Some of the players try and make a little jokes to lighten the mood a little bit and not let everything that starts sinking in.
Yeah, No-Tail riding on the back of socks, everything like that.
All right. You guys, it is time to get this international 2019 Grand Finals started in style. All the way from the lower bracket, it is Team Liquid ready to take the stage. A chance for the second ages of 4 of those players. Chance for the first for Weeha, of course, but all 5 of them experienced with the pressure coming from performing on the grand stage of the International in the Grand Finals. Their opponents, OG. the defending champions of the International 2018, now again on the grand stage of the International 2019 OG, taking the stage, ready to face up against what some would say is their nemesis, Team Liquid, and they look ready. Smiles are had, cheers are had by the crowd. I cannot wait to get this match started. A best of 5 between two giants in Dota 2.
Nemesis, rivals, friends, the lines get blurry, right?
Yeah.
Dota 2 is such a tight community in many ways, and you want to be friends with some of these players. In fact, you might end up being teammates with them in the future, or maybe you were in the past. But in this moment, they're going to be the bitter rivals.
And you can see the 7 there already just amped. They look exactly like last year, right? He's in there. I can read some lips as to what he's saying. Maybe not broadcast friendly there, but he is hyping up that team, getting them ready in the booth. The drums of war are playing, and finally it is time. They've been sitting back there. They've been watching everything. The crowd is ready, as you can hear.
That cheer was for Seb.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that said, you know, they're not going to cheer as loud as for a PSG LGD. And while that might be true, these people are not silent. They are definitely cheering their hearts out. I also want to take you back to a moment when we talked to, or when Casey talked to Kuro yesterday. What did he say? What did he say?
I don't know, but I guess we'll have to find out later.
We're finding out later. I can tell you what he said.
That would be good.
That will be good. He said...
Do you do an impression or no?
No, there's no way.
I just want to make sure.
I think that would be disrespectful to a lot of people. No, he basically said after the group stages, and we all knew OG was crushing it, Liquid at the bottom of the barrel, and they are both people that with an unhealthy habit for which they need to go outside. This is what happened.
No Tail's ready for you in the grand final. He told us in his interview that Liquid is who he's been waiting to face.
Yeah, but basically after the group stage, Note and I met in the balcony, and so he was in the upper bracket. I was like top 16. And I asked him to wait me in the finals. Like I'm gonna try to go there all the way, and I mean I hope we can do it. Yeah.
This is like a movie. Meet me in the finals.
Yeah, some history there. I really love seeing these two going head to head. And actually, overall, historically, it has been Liquid that has been victorious when facing OG. You want to take a little bit of a jab at their head-to-head results, Trent?
How many we talk, like a percentage?
Okay, no,
here?
I have the actual games, and they are a total of exactly 50 games.
50 games against each other. I'm gonna say Liquid 29.
I'm gonna say Liquid 32 against 18.
You want to go
Can I go prices right on this and say 33?
It's 33.
Oh, got him.
You're the worst.
No, Liquid
I'm
has
the best.
Has a 33.
He saw that note before. No way.
No, you said 32.
Well, I just
went one up?
Good. I'm paying attention. You know,
no,
writing stuff down. Where's your book?
I have it all up here because I pay attention.
Are you saying
I memorized all of my notes. For example, did you know that GH in an interview going into this group stage, he said that he did expect that OG was going to be a very tough opponent. They knew that going into this international. They fully expected that. And in a lot of ways, GH said that they admired OG and they want to be able to replicate some of what OG does best, just turn it, a little bit into their flavor. Maybe he was talking about hero picks and stuff, but who knew that he was actually talking about OG being able to make a run through a lower bracket at a DPC event all the way into the finals, maybe even taking it.
I'm not surprised that other teams are stealing other teams' strat. We saw Team Secret playing the carry IO, and they definitely stole it from OG. No doubt about it.
Himself, right? There's no shame in copying strats.
As
no
long as
shame
you
in
maybe do
stealing
it
or
better.
no shame in admitting.
Both, I think.
It's a big, isn't it? There's a saying about it being the imitation is the biggest form of flattery.
Yeah.
You know, It's like, hey, what you're doing is really good. We're going to try to do the same because we think that's the way to play. That's a big compliment. I do think these two teams have a little bit of different styles of playing Dota, but I do think both are very active early on. I think we're going to have some fun with these games, Cap.
Yeah, I think we are too, because 33 out of 50.
33
I mean,
out of
that's
50.
still relatively close, and there were some times where OG were a little bit shaky as a roster, where Liquid maintained like constant dominance. They were always like one of those teams that were like top 3 once they really got into form, and they just never really let that go. So here, it feels like the odds are 50-50 in many ways. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You have a favorite here?
I think this might be, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but this looks like it could be another 3-0 or 3-1 to me.
For who?
In favor of
OG. OG, you're terrifying. Have you guys been watching these games?
Yeah, but they got Alchemist.
Let me check my
They got
notes.
Alchemist twice to be able to get into the grand finals.
Oh, they
All
don't
right?
need Alchemist.
Kuro's not going to do that.
But so if they don't have Alchemist, they have the IO.
But have you
Yeah,
seen
but Liquid also has the IO.
The same IO? Does it look like Anna's IO?
Maybe it's a different kind of IO,
It's a
but
much
it's just as
worse
good.
I mean, both of these
I don't
teams
know
know
about
how
that.
to play IO, so they
Yes.
know how to counter it unless they decide to ban it out if they don't have a first pick.
We're going to find out about
a lot of mind
all
games.
that later on. When you guys talk about performing, these teams are no stranger to being in the grand finals. Liquid and OG actually themselves were in the grand finals of the Manila Major. OG won that one, even though Liquid kind of feels that they should have. If you talk to them, also at that point, it was JerX indeed on OG and Miracle on. Actually, it was JerX on Liquid and Miracle on OG. Liquid has also been in the grand finals of the Shanghai Major, where Weeha was actually successful against them. Now he's with the team. Perhaps that's what they needed. But they haven't won a major. Am I correct in saying that? Or did they win the Epicenter
TI
major
winners.
last
That's
year?
it.
Just TI winners.
Yeah, all that
you know.
matters.
Yeah, potato. No, all of these players have tremendous experience. Sebastian has been to 5 TIs. If you don't count talent or wild cards, and 3 of those were as a player. This is his 5th TI. He's been talented too. This is your second year as talent, right, Trent?
Yeah, that's true.
Does that mean you're gonna, transition into coach, into player?
No,
you're gonna do the same route.
He's making spot for me. That's good. I need him up there, or else I run into some trouble.
That's why you're saying 3-0 for OG.
Yeah.
You don't want Seb to quit.
No, Seb, keep going, buddy. You got this.
I don't think anyone made the transition from straight out talent to coach or player. Like, you need to be a player before.
Yeah.
Have you been
I'd
a player
hope so.
before?
No. In fact, the only people foolish enough to hire me were Complexity during that TI5 run. So there you go. See how that worked out for old Kyle.
Wasn't great.
Good thing he's gone.
But are you hinting at something here, Lacoste? Would you ever consider going as a coach? Like, obviously, you see Soxka on the stage. Soxka used to be also a TI1, TI2. He played wildcards TI3. He's no stranger to the Dota 2 scene, especially to the early Dota 2 scene, where you were also an active player part of that.
I try to coach a little bit the Serbian/Croatian squad, the Elements Pro Gaming, during the Boston Major. Well, that didn't end well, but here I am now. I don't know. Coaching is a bit hard. Someone in the interview talked about, I think it was Heen, who said, like, I can coach, but I don't know what to do. I've never done it before. So just do your own thing. I don't know. I think there's a lot of smart people in the community who can be coaches, but you don't have the chance to prove it. I'm not talking about myself. Don't worry.
Well, I was talking to Heen, and he was saying that he wished he had more time. It's like, geez, you already had quite a bit of time with TNC, but he still wants more time. It's like it never ends, right? And I think the idea of coaching is that you have to really be there. You have to be a part of that family in order to do the best possible job. Coaching is not a thing where you can just like show up to the LAN and be like, hey guys, so what are we doing this time? Like it's not even enough to be at the boot camps. I think you really need this like full-on team dynamic of just like, we are together all the time, all the year, becoming a single unit if you want the full effectiveness.
The hardest
of a coach.
part is when team is not doing well. This is when you struggle. Like, you can see the players arguing against each other. When things are going smoothly, you can kind of look like a good coach.
I can be a good weather coach.
Yeah.
It's the most difficult thing to be a bad weather coach, though. Can you take your squad out of a rut and bring it to greatness? That is kind of the only time you're really tested. as
I
a
think
coach.
you would kind of have to be like the hardest worker on the team. We heard Curl actually compliment his coach, Roman, RMN. And this is a guy that I think in order to be a good coach, you just have to have a passion for Dota that doesn't exist with anybody else. You have to have been one of those people who's so passionate about the game, you tried to go and play pro, right? Because you loved it so much, you were playing it so much, and you got that good because you cared so much about the game. And RMN was one of those guys. You know, he was a semi-pro. He was playing for Team Goomba. I casted many of a tier 3.
All the German style.
Hey, me and Yushi were casting the tier 3 games together. Team Goomba.
His name goes back in the Dota 1 days as well. I know Roman for 10 plus years probably.
It's actually very interesting if you look into the history of all those tier 3 Dota 2 stacks, because a lot of these people that are on the stage right now play together at some point. We have Mind Control. Obviously, everybody knows that he came from the FPL ranked leaderboard list when he joined Liquid. But before that, he was a part of basically Unknown.
Yeah, that roster was like...
It was
like
Seb
a revolving
and Soxka.
door. Right?
Yeah, it was a revolving door. There were a lot of people on there, but 2 people that he actually spent time on a team with were Seb and Soxka. I thought that was very interesting. Also, I'm going to ask you guys a pop quiz.
Oh, yes.
Oh, boy.
You ready?
Yes.
Another one of those rotating door teams. Balkan Bears.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got this one.
Okay.
There were 5 players in this TI, and a couple that are on stage, that were in Balkan Bears.
Okay, we got the easy one, the gimme. We got Weehaw. And
Weehaw.
Miracle. Miracle, another gimme.
We have Miracle, both on stage, both used to be
Was the App on it?
Yes, he
Yeah,
was.
was.
I don't think you're going to guess the other 2.
Was it
Hold on,
No-Tail?
It was not No-Tail.
They were here in TI.
Guess, though.
They are here in TI. They were part of the, they are part of the 16.
I remember at one point in time, Balkan Bears pulled in like a somewhat well-known name, but he was a little bit like washed up at a time.
None of these people are from Balkan, though.
No, these 2 people will not be from the Balkans.
Stop. She's got us.
All right,
Yes,
give
shall I
us
just
the
say it?
first letter.
From which one? From the first or the second?
First one.
Care,
First one.
just give it to us.
F. There's not that many
Is it
people.
Fada? Fada was on Balkan Bears?
No.
Are there any other Fs?
It's not FY for sure.
You sure you didn't make it?
There's really nobody else with another F. It's Fly.
Ah.
And the other one starts with a
Same
P.
region. Yeah.
Pylai Die. I'll spoil it for you.
Okay.
What is
Fly was
interesting
the name I was thinking.
is that with those Balkan Bears, Miracle and Weehaw obviously both used to be mid players, and they kind of kept replacing each other. They swapped back and forth in terms of being on the squad, getting kicked and replaced by the other, and then vice versa again as well. So I thought that was kind of a nice thing. And now obviously they get the chance to play together. But isn't that crazy that all those grassroots teams of people struggling to make it as a profession?
Yeah.
There, there's success stories in there.
What's even harder than that too is that you hear sometimes like Miracle or Yapsor talk about people who they played with back home. They're like, "Oh, this guy was so good."
Yeah.
And you're just like, what if that same person was given those opportunities? Like I've heard them talk about guys who played these WHGs, and there's like, Aframoosh or like Hook. Like I know from that region, there's like these guys are so good.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you were just like so close to being a part of this. And then that just like drives you further to want to try that, depending on like the boundaries in your life to go for it. But obviously these guys fully committed, and this is what they've done with it.
Many of them have been kicked or experienced. Like we talk about like the failure that happens at TI, but like at least you got to TI and you experienced some level of success and you managed to make some money. But before all of that was the grind where you weren't making that money. You were getting kicked out of teams, or your teams would disband or something like that. And you would experience failure after failure after failure. And I think in many ways it hardened some of these players and continue to strengthen their resolve to push past. And now when they experience the same kind of failures on a much larger scale, they're ready for it.
Yeah, if you want to fully commit, there's going to be ups and downs for sure, but you need to go through those downs, and it is the hardest part.
Apart from one player on the stage that didn't went through the grind. He started playing his first professional results were in 2017. And then he got to 2018, he's like, okay, let's win this thing. I'm talking about Thompson, of course. He is one of the few royal roaders we have. I'm adopting the term.
You can't tell, though, because the way that he walks on the stage, I think he has the most swag of any player here at TI. Out of all the walkouts I've seen, he's got the broad shoulders all of a sudden. He hasn't cut his hair. He's doing this.
You know why.
Can we get a close up on Trent while he does that?
I mean, you can just put me side by side by
keep that
Thompson.
swagger going,
it's the
baby.
exact same thing. It's just there's
yeah.
a death stare, and he's just walking.
And the hair is flowing behind.
Yeah,
him.
it's like blowing in the wind. The smoke comes through.
Keep going, Trent. Keep going.
All right,
that man right there.
Yeah, that's him.
He's got about 8 brothers, right? I think that's where that comes from.
Yes, that's right. The top son.
You know, you gotta swag out each other. You gotta be.
And he got him. That's all I'm saying. No, that guy won TI. He's like, where are you at now, siblings?
I mean,
I'm a
the top
successful
son.
engineer. I have a lawyer practice. I play video games that have made millions of dollars. Top son, baby.
Every dinner he's just popping off.
I mean, it's pretty amazing that, you know, we call him a Royal Road because he won his TI in the first try, and now he's in the finals again. If he win, what do you call someone that wins 2 TIs 2 times in a row, the only TIs I've ever played?
Retired, man. Back. I'm out of here. See you later.
No. That's Anna's line. That's Anna's line. He's just here for the paycheck.
When we talk about Team Liquid, they also have, of course, a Royal Road there, Lacoste. You got GH.
Well, yeah, GH also came out of nowhere, I would say, and suddenly he's here about to win second TI. And I mean, there's a lot of skilled players from the region where he's coming from, and you mentioned Aframouche and Mage.
Yeah,
Hook.
Mage.
There's a lot of skilled players that need to be given opportunity. Also, I think the scene there is actually growing, like really flourishing.
I mean, if you talk about people given a chance, Miracle came out of nowhere. Anna came out of nowhere. That was a big question mark when OG picked him up. GH also out of nowhere. These 10 players on stage, they all were giving a shot at a time. There's obviously a couple of grinders at the top there. Kuroki, and we haven't really talked about him yet because we have said so much about Kuro already. He's been at all 9 internationals, multiple grand finals. I think this is his 3rd. Won one of them, and he started playing well before the first TI. He said he started playing Dota in 2008. You know, he's had over a decade of experience there. It is crazy to think that he is still on top of his game, able to be on top of his game. There's not a lot of players that could say that.
Yeah, I like the fact that we do have this narrative of all these new players who've been given a chance, because there was a history of Dota, both Dota 1 and a lot of Dota 2 history. Probably the first 3-4 years where the people who got the chance to be able to play professionally, it was very tightly held. It was considered that like pubs, it wasn't really a good true sense of skill, and it came down to getting an opportunity to try out for a team, and that obviously came with being able to know somebody and have someone vouch for you. And there's a lot of stories about that. You know, like 1437, you know, got vouched by Fear, for example. There's a lot like that.
That was the word back then, man. The vouch. That was like, that's all you needed. You needed it in that in-house.
In-house leagues, yes.
You tried not to get 1v1'd out of the in-house league. Also very important, but that's where a lot of these teams came from.
It really is. It's impressive. Hey, every time, if you think back of all the internationals, you know, every international is known for something. TA8, OG Cinderella run. You got TA7, lower bracket run for Liquid. You know, everything has something. What is this TI going to be known for?
Best group stage.
Second TI winner. I mean,
second TI winner.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to overshadow everything
comebacks
at this time.
Handsomest English final panel.
Oh, also true.
I like it.
Thanks to Lacoste.
Thank you.
It's a snazzy shoot.
It really is. I do want to, you know, cater also to people that don't really watch Dota at all. You know, hello, I know you're there. Tune in once a year. We love to have you, and we love to talk to you about all the players we have playing on stage. You know, we have obviously a big passion for the game, and we love to share that passion. And I want to, you know, set the story for you for these two teams facing each other. And obviously, as Trent just mentioned, there is a chance of well, first of all, there's a chance of a back-to-back TI champion. That is crazy. And then there's, regardless, going to be a 2-time champion at this International 2019. And now, what other stories should people be aware of? Like, just the people stories.
Why should they play Dota, is what I would say. I mean, if you're here and you're just watching once a year, I think we need to change that. They should come and play Dota.
or watching more often. You know, Dota is a spectator sport.
Yeah, just come for us. That's also fine. But if you want to, get some more enjoyment and learn more about the game, even if you think you're going to be terrible, even if you think it might not be the best time, you are going to thoroughly enjoy these games a lot more if you play Dota. You can learn more. You can appreciate what these players are doing a heck of a lot more when you try and do similar things and go, wow, this is very difficult.
Yeah. I played Eon of Strife, Tides of Blood, then I switched to Dota when it came out. Now I'm playing Dota 2. It's been probably 15 years combined. It's basically half of my life. I'm not that young, even though I look young. So 15 years of Dota, and look where it got me.
And how many friends have you made along the way?
A lot of friends.
In 15 years' time, you too could be up on this panel.
A bit less, I would say. And I do have a lot of friends.
It's a community. It's an ever-changing game.
Yeah.
It's the hardest. Nothing is more satisfying than getting better at Dota.
Yeah, it is definitely the deepest game in that regard, both when it comes to the mechanics and strategy, but the history, right?
Yeah.
Like we're talking about, like I think that's what makes Dota 2 as an esport really interesting is the very, very deep history that starts with that kind of grassroots buildup. You really can't get that kind of a faithful esport than something that has been built up from the ground, just purely through fans loving the game, loving a custom mod of a game that's in another game. You know, trying to explain that to your friends. You sound real dumb, believe me, I tried.
The best feeling in Dota is when you hang out with your friends on TeamSpeak or whatever and play with them after 10 p.m. Your belly is full, you know, and enemy team is trying to fall back to their base, and that's the best feeling. You're trying to kick them when they're down. You're chasing them to their base. That's
kind of like OG bristleback in the fountain, that kind of stuff. That was peak Dota on the stage.
We're trying to send happy thoughts here. Okay?
That's happy thoughts.
That's very happy for one team.
Yeah, you might have to be a little bit on the other side too when you're still learning.
We raise ourselves up by tearing each other down. That's what we do in Dota.
Come on over.
We need more to tear down. We need more foundation.
All right, guys. Let's also not forget that we are at the moment the biggest. We have the biggest prize pool in all of esports history, with all the different games combined. Well, not combined, but all the different games there. Over $34 million, and the winner gets 45% of that, which is just over 15 million.
Yeah, there's your 34 million reasons to start playing Dota.
Yeah, play Dota right now. Because it's actually surprising, some of the younger squads, everybody is always, younger people, normally better, blah, blah. Not here. Experience, we heard Puppy say it earlier as well when he got eliminated. He said the best practice for the International is playing at the International. Now, you don't get that chance very often, and you need some of that experience before you can, securely win an International. Of course, that doesn't go for all people, but for in most cases, that is true.
Yeah, it took him almost 200 games of the International to be able to lead a squad confidently. I mean, you even heard, like, back when he was a veteran of the TI5, TI6 days, we saw that there was some issues happening there, and you just need to be able to grind out that experience, just like you have to do with everything else in Dota 2.
Grind out the experience. Or watch. You can watch. You don't have to play.
Don't let them off easy.
No,
make them play.
They're watching right now. We should appreciate that fact.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you. When you see Liquid and OG going up against each other head to head, what's the first thing that comes to your mind, Lacoste?
Europe.
All right.
Says the European.
All right, because both of these squads are from the European region, and throughout the year, there's always a lot of discussion. What is the strongest region? And I think that this iteration, this DPC Season 2, and the finale, of course, right here in Shanghai, it is a clear answer, clear winner. We have 2 European teams in the finals, and in the top 4, there were 3 even. I see some people.
I don't want to engage in this conversation.
They got us on this one.
The 2 North Americans are who we automatically checked out. Hey, let's talk about this strongest region. Just wait till next year. We've got somebody on the draft panel who is going to do great work for us in North America.
No
by the way,
pressure,
another person who got into Dota thanks to Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Tsunami play
Gunnar
on
got
the
into
team.
it off the TF2.
Yeah, there it is.
Listen, Cap, I appreciate the well wishes, but you know, I think the world isn't ready for me. Oh, right, Gunnar, you're also pretty good, I think.
Hi.
You're a hell of a player.
Yeah, I try.
And this must be incredibly enticing for you to see. You see all the storylines and everything like that. You could be that rookie player next time.
I can make my own story.
Oh, you gonna write it with Febby, hopefully?
Yo, Febby, can we claim you as NA as well?
Oh yeah,
he's played in our region for a while.
He's Canadian. He's my boy.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot you're Canadian. My bad. My bad.
When people talk about, sorry guys, I'm gonna cut you off for a little bit again. You gotta prep, and you gotta make sure that you say a lot of smart things about the draft that is to come very soon. Because I wanna talk more about the players, because often when you're talking about OG, you're talking about all the players, and I feel like a lot of people feel like JerAx is left out. And I wanna praise him a little bit here, because he is on the finals again, and he is a phenomenal player. He actually also, he went to Korea at some point. He's like, you know what? I'm going to start making this a career. I'm gonna move to Korea and play professionally there. He played, like he's an old school player. He played together with Sunbi and Heen in a TI at some point.
That's one of those big leaps.
Yeah.
Talking about people like maybe not getting an opportunity in certain regions. He made an opportunity, right? He took a massive leap to do something like that into an area that wasn't very well developed. Of course, I mean, Blitz and Purge thrived
Dota-wise.
So they were able to try and bring that scene up a little bit, and then there's the man himself.
What was that team? MVP Hot 6?
MVP Hot 6, yeah. Yes. And he did that after he is finished, of course. And when you're finished, you have to do military service. So he did that after his military service. He moved to Korea.
That was like some
that
sleeping.
smile, that hair, that must be JerAx. Also, the dude's a smoke breaker. I think he breaks the most smokes in the game. I don't know if we don't talk a lot about JerAx, but I do for sure. Like the dude's just a beast.
Really is.
His positioning in team fights is extremely well. You can always see.
Grand Finals, Game 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. That's right. It's OG versus Team Liquid Grand Finals International 2019. And I hope you're in it for the long haul, because this is a best of 5 series. First team to take 3 games will win this entire tournament. As you saw earlier, I'm joined here by Gunnar and Febby. And as they had briefly mentioned on the panel, this is 2 European teams. And this is the first time that 2 teams from the same region have been competing in TI Grand Finals since 2014, which it was Vici Gaming and Newbie.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you really quickly, as we are soon getting into this draft, what's it like playing another team for your region, and what's like the scrim culture? Because obviously, when someone's very close to you geographically, it makes sense to play them frequently in scrims. So, what kind of information do you get during scrims? Are you more trying to figure out what you're good at, or are you trying to figure out what the enemy team is bad at? You're trying to figure out new strats. You're trying to play heroes. What exactly do teams get by doing scrims?
Well, a lot of the times in tournaments, whenever same region teams play each other, you'll see that there's like upsets, right? Where it's like this really strong team that could be like top 6, top 4, whatever, is getting knocked out by, you know, like maybe a top 12 team or something like that from their same region. And it's because they play each other, like you said, a lot, right? They know their strats, they know the way they like to draft, they know the players, especially from pubs. Like you play the pubs with some player, you know, this guy likes to pick these type of heroes, he likes to kind of make this stuff around the map, and sure, it's not in a competitive as like, you know, aspect all times, but you get a feel for all the players. So that's why a lot of the times, like here, I'm expecting to see the games be like a little closer than OG's like normal run, right?
Right. And Liquid are doing a good job to make sure that doesn't happen, as we see in the first phase bans already taking away a lot of the things that OG have been proving to be extremely powerful on: the IO, the Magnus, and the Alchemist.
And but OG do get Enchantress.
They do.
Which they're probably like the best Enchantress team right now. Because they play 5. So if you try to like super hard counter this Enchantress, you know, you pick some like a Light Stealer, Gyro. These are like okay counters, but you pick some hard counter at the edge and they put it on No Tail and then call it a day. Give Seb a new hero.
Is Chen one of those heroes? Because I know back in the day when both these heroes used to be all about getting neutral creeps, it seemed that there was a real give and take between Enchantress and Chen. Both these heroes have kind of changed their role, Febby. Why exactly do you think Liquid goes for the Chen to respond to this Enchantress?
I think they're looking to group up early and push early and just like have a better early to mid team fight. I think that's what they're thinking right now, especially with the Tide pickup as well.
Also, both heroes in the early game have changed their playstyle a lot. It used to be Enchantress would go for Enchant a lot. And she'd get a creep, you know, the Wildkin, she'd have a little more bonus armor, she'd have a Tornado, and that would be like her lane support, right? And now she's more getting heal and untouchable, and she's kind of just right-clicking your carry. And Chen, on the other hand, he has his new passive ability. I guess it's not a passive anymore, right?
It's got a passive component and an active component.
Active, yeah,
so
but
the
the
Divine
passive
Favor gives the aura, and then obviously the active teleports you around the map.
So the passive gives you everyone HP regen in an area, and increases the HP regen by percentage. So now a lot of the Chen, you'll see they buy a headdress, which also gives everyone bonus 2 HP regen. So now everyone from level 1 in Chen's lane is going to have like 5 HP regen. When they pair it with a hero like Tidehunter, that guy doesn't take damage. So they can kind of match these lanes up, the two from Liquid, put them in any hard lane, and they're going to get a lot out of it.
I want to talk about like the meta a little bit in TI because I played in I think 3 or 4 TIs. I think it was 3, and I've been watching other TIs as well. So the meta shifts twice in TI. Once is after the group stage ends and when the what is this called? The
main event.
The main events for us starts. Like a lot of teams like take like those few days.
Especially during the 1 day break, right? There's a day break between the groups and the main stage.
Yeah, they study everything and they decide like what's really good in the meta. And we've been kind of seeing tiny void popping up in the main stage. And at the grand finals, meta shifts again. The first game kind of doesn't matter. It feels good if you win. But I think like Liquid from the first pick bans, because that's like the most important, because that actually shifts your the whole pick ban. So I think this is going to be a really important match to see if they are able to actually beat OG's Enchantress, because it's going to give them a huge edge if they win this, if they are able to beat the Enchantress, because they can play it themselves too.
It's also kind of crazy if you look at this, that OG gets first pick, right, this game? And look at their bans compared to Liquid bans. Liquid has to ban like 3 of these like game-winning cores, right? Yeah. And OG gets to pick, you know, they ban this AA, so it's like it forces you to ban the ALK.
That's what I was getting into. Like OG has a lot of heroes that Liquid needs to first ban. Meanwhile, it's not the same for the others. So yeah.
Yeah, bans against Liquid seems to be more targeted towards Miracle during the ending phases of the draft, because usually you got to be worried about these random anti-mages coming out or something like that. You're not concerned about that happening in the first phase of the draft, so you're just kind of trying to establish your strategy. So for these two teams specifically, as we see a Rubik come out for Liquid, do you think it's more in Liquid's, like the ball is in Liquid's court to kind of figure out what OG is up to, and OG's just like, we're just going to play our own Dota. If you can beat it, then we'll maybe start sweating for game 2, but for right now, you got to prove that you can even take 1 game off of us.
OG right now, they looked at Dota Buff. They searched TI9, looked at the heroes from the main event, saw the highest win percentages and pick rates, and clicked the top 3.
These seem like good heroes.
And they're hoping that they're going to work together and win them a game of Dota.
Okay.
And Liquid is doing their own style, right?
Yes.
Like this TA is Weeha's hero ever since he joined Liquid. Even before Liquid, he would play like on Chaos, he'd play a lot. But they first picked it the entire time last major. They started first picking it last series. I think it's like their comfort way of playing. It gives them map vision, it gives them a, like almost always a 50-50 lane at worst.
Yeah.
Even if it's like horrible, you can go jungle like in the Huskar lane, right? He can just jungle, catch up, and come back in the mid lane game.
I think right now OG is thinking of picking Void or not. Like they're taking their time because this pick is going to kind of determine their win condition.
I think they're wondering about, they probably saw the last match, right? Which was a Void versus TA.
Yes.
And they saw how that probably panned out, how the TA just like, you know, 3-shot the Void, you can't get time walk off, doesn't really matter. So they're probably considering if they're actually going to be scared of this TA and they need to pick, you know, more of a safer carry against the TA, like a Spectre.
They're going to go for a hard carry option, but one that obviously is very, very strong against TA. Once the Spectre gets that Radiance online, suddenly TA's Refraction is just completely nullified pretty much.
Also, Spectre's a common Manta buyer. That's one of the things you want on an Agi hero versus TA. It serves 2 functions. You can dodge or move the Meld Strike, and also burns the Refractions instantly, because you have 3 different heroes.
It is not a carry hero that we see much here at TI9, but it is really amazing against Liquid supports right now. Those 2 squishy, the single target supports, the backline supports. It's really easy for the Spectre to go on Liquid's backline right now.
So the cool thing about Spectre this tournament is people are like doubling down on the late game on it. They go Midas on Spectre. their first item.
But what about the days of the old Vanguard Spectre? You're just like, no, I'll be able to make it to the late game. You're like, listen, either win or lose, this Spectre is gonna get super farmed. It's up to you to end the game, and they were going Midas.
Yeah, it's like a lot of carries are going more. You have to get a lot out of the map these days, right? That's why these heroes like Alchemist and Meepo, like for Liquid, right? That's their Meepo. Like these, even Arcward, these heroes get more gold out of their gold.
Right.
Alchemist just gets double the gold from last hits. Arcward gets double the gold from
Midas.
Double Midas, but also in team fights he has 2 sets of items.
True.
Meepo gets 4 times the stats, right? So they have a lot of like functions that, since these teams playing the map so well these days, and they can't really like, you know, force people away from the map, that stuff like that is just really strong.
These heroes from Liquid side, it's really familiar too. I remember it punishing the Raise King draft. These heroes want to play fast, and that's what Spectre is kind of scared about. So laning phase is really important for both sides, because if Liquid gets to win, then they're just going to start snowballing.
OG last ban a Gyro and then pick up a Pugna.
So I think that's going to be a mid Pugna versus TA. The matchup's a lot better now than it has been, and even when the Pugna at 6, the TA has a really hard time laning against him. And they'll probably try to lane this tiny top, I guess. I think the tiny top's a little safer than the Pugna, but they can always swap the lanes around based on this last pick from Liquid.
I was thinking Liquid's gonna pick a hero like Troll to amplify the early mid game, but because of the Pugna pick, it can get kited real well, so...
So Liquid want to take that Spectre game to the next level. Another hero that can quickly amplify his own farm. Meepo, the last pick on Team Liquid.
That pushes TA to safe lane, I guess?
Yes.
It's a very early, fast tempo. Spectre's not going to have a lot of room to breathe. It's pretty good late game, so yeah, it looks like a really good last pick Meepo.
So then does this change the side lane Liquid situation for OG? Like, are you going to move the Tiny around or the Elder Titan around elsewhere? Because you still got a Spectre that you got to babysit.
Probably not. The thing that's kind of scary for Liquid is OG has an ET, right? And ET is so good against Meepo.
Yes.
You get Astro Hero damage from each Meepo. You get the aura on all the Meepos. You can stomp all the Meepos. They're always going to be clumped. You're always going to these big team fights. So that's the one big question I have about this Meepo pick.
And Elder Titan is a hero that we've been seeing a lot of strength of just in the laning phase. Even before the multiple Meepos come online or something like that, he's going to be getting a ton of damage from that Astral Spirit.
Yeah, but individually you're right, but I think the way these heroes work together right now, Liquid's heroes, they all complement each other in the early mid game. So it's gonna be pretty hard if they win if OG loses the lanes. The lanes are really important this game.
All right then, let's hear some of the justification from Team Liquid's coach, Roman.
All right, Roman, you are now drafting in a grand final. Curious from your perspective, is it any different, your approach to the draft, now that you know that you've got 5 games instead of 3, or is the preparation the same?
It's slightly different simply because you have, let me put it this way, you can drop 1 game. Basically, it's a, how to put it? You get more time to play, basically.
How do you feel about your draft right now?
I think we have a very comfort draft this time. We played a very similar draft before in this tournament, so I feel good.
All right, well, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, back to you guys as we get this first game going.
Thank you very much, Casey, and welcome everyone to the 2019 Grand Finals, a best of 5 between Team Liquid and OG. I'm Odie Pixel here with Fog. We've just seen the draft. It's all very exciting, right? We have Liquid, they raise up the TA, then out comes the Pugna, and then they say, well, we're going to switch it around. We're going to bring out the Meepo, but, and there's a big but, right, Fog? There's something kind of good on OG's side.
There is a good Elder Titan pick for that Meepo. This should be a really interesting one. We look at OG, like you said, this is what happens when we get to the later stages, and of course in the finals of TI. It's all about counter picks and just mind games. Like you said, they just swap the lanes around immediately just from the picks. And even though you don't see too often that these swaps happen, it's gonna be those mind games. Because immediately, look who's actually playing the Meepo, and look at his items. Those aren't mid items on our Meepo. Those are side lane item Meepos. So that's already a big change up there. Yes. They're going to be seeing the player. They're going to be Weehaws playing Meepo. Of course it's going to be mid. So now we're going to see if they can actually scout the lane. Weehaws just going to hide. He has to hide this to make sure that OG does get caught off guard on it.
It's looking and talk to me about this then. The Elder Titan, a hero that we've seen a lot of drafts where, for other reasons, there could have been the reason to pick the Meepo, but it hasn't come out. What makes this hero so scary for the Meepos out there?
A lot of the times, of course, you get that big amount of damage that can work for Astro, but it's a 5 position. I think the bigger thing as a 5 position versus that Meepo is you're amplifying everybody else versus him, and you're stunning multiple Meepos. Sure, he's not going to be stacking all 5 of them all the time, or all 3 or 4 of them at the same time, all 3 of them, whatever, in those situations when he does have them, but it's the likeliness that you're getting multiple Meepos stomped is very, very high.
We're going to see both teams come out to try and get a look at getting the advantage in the runes, and it will be Liquid able to take 3 bounty runes to start the game off.
Lanes are identified immediately. OG's going to play super aggressive down bottom. They know it's a Meepo in the side lane. They're just going to constantly be running at him, and now it's going to be Miracle in that matchup mid versus a Tiny.
Yeah, interesting to see, especially after, as the panel were mentioning earlier, how Weeha and Miracle were sort of juggled around back in the day on Balkan Bears between the mid lane, and now here on the same team, Miracle says it's my turn to take myself back to mid.
I'm really curious
to the side lane
to see how the side lane Meepo is going to do. We pretty much strictly see this hero placed in the mid lane because you need experience. You want to be getting that solo experience for yourself, being able to always... Oh, Zeke actually going to get a tops back. Tops, oh, he actually has the tree grab as well as the avalanche, but put some pressure on. But yeah, this Meepo is going to be splitting experience with the Chen. So I think we're going to see Kuroki, in particular, moving away from the lane a lot as the Chen. You have to give Meepo levels.
Now, looking at the other side lane up top, Mind Control tied, backed up by GH against Notail and Ana. Is this is a lane where Ana's going to be able to get some space to farm, or can Liquid really amp up the pressure on a Spectre early on?
I think Ana's going to be able to farm up here just fine. They could get set up some kills onto Notail, but onto Ana, I don't think you can kill a Spectre with a Rubik and a Tidehunter. You can prevent some farm though, right? This is the damage reduction lane. Fade Bolt as well as Anchor Smash will be a little annoying, but this is what Heldenheim does. This is why he's picked so often.
He runs the heroes down.
Yeah, he just secures the lane pretty nicely for
refreshing the spirit here, nearly getting GH. Single-handedly just beating these two far, far away from Ana, so Ana's got all the space in the world.
Yeah.
Let's have a look on the mid lane. CS 7 for 3, Thompson at the moment against the 4 for 0. I guess what expected, Tiny's going to have this advantage?
Yeah, would definitely think so. It's also very easy to always play aggressive as the Tiny too, because your Avalanche removes 6 of those instances of refraction whenever he does get the levels up on Miracle. Just got to make sure you don't need too many side blades this Thompson, because you are very low armor, of course.
Again, I mean, Notail. He's going to take quite a bit of damage in response this time with the guts to the Anchor Smash. Trying to run away with the tanker. He's going to look for the neutral creep tonight. He's not going to get it. GH able to get that first blood, taking down Notail. As Notail, for the most part, still able to do his job with regards to pushing them away from Ana, but obviously wants to make sure that he doesn't feed himself away too many times. Otherwise, that is when you are going to see that dual lane up top, get the levels, and then have the better chance of forcing that Spectre out of the lane.
It's his job, though. I think a death like that for Notail, it's forgivable. Sure, you don't want it to happen, but he zoned them. Like you were saying, Ana's able to get all the last hits. He's 11-1 when it's only 7-2 Tidehunter. So it's all about the space. And we look at OG's draft. They're about the late game. You look at Liquid's draft, they're very early game centric. They want to be snowballing the game, getting Rose control, and just ending the game before it gets too late on. Because OG's, if it gets to the late game, you can assume that they're going to be able to take it very easily with that Spectre.
Yeah, when OG's having such a good time in some of these matchups, they're going to be very, very happy. The mid lane continuing to be very much in Thompson's favor. 15 for 8 against the 9 for 0. Miracle is going to look to fight back. Thompson getting rather low. Miracle looking for the angle. Oh, he does find the angle, but it isn't quite enough damage. Thompson will be able to walk away.
He's going to have to TP to base, though. That's pretty huge there. Miracle, after having a pretty rough start in the laning phase, 8 denies on the Tiny, pushes him out. Thompson getting a bit too over-aggressive there. So we see Weeha is going to be hitting this level 3, level 4. Kuroki has absolutely been moving away from the lane a lot to ensure that the Meepo gets that extra experience. And he's grabbing his creeps. He's actually grabbing the Ogre Frostmage this time just for the armor. 15 armor on Meepo to soak some of that bullying that comes out from Seb as well as HyperX. But they're glyphing the wave, and they want to continue this pressure.
Farm between Seb and Wee, very even at the moment. They're both getting something good out of this lane. Still the best position on the map happens to be Ana's up top. The Spectre leading the way in CS. The duo lane was not able to do enough to break past Notail and slow Ana's early game down.
Thompson will not get the rune, but the rune will spawn bottom, and HyperX is already there waiting for it. So yeah, I mean, we hop down bottom. He's just gonna farm really well, actually, even though the Enchantress tends to be able to bully most heroes with the Ransack in combination with this armor. Like, his main Meepo is sitting at like 17 armor when he's away from the tower, of course. So how do you harass 17 armor when he's also healing off hitting creeps? So definitely an interesting approach coming out here from Liquid.
Thompson back in the lane. Definitely with that, a good bit of time the Miracle got with Thompson having to head back to base. The even trader farm is there, and of course Miracle as the TA will be able to turn towards the jungle camps, ancient camps, and get those sort of guaranteed item timings unless OG's able to really invade Liquid's half of the map and get in his face.
Bounty runes in 10. Team's preparing for those. Thompson making his way down bottom to fill up his bottle as well.
The grab bag is always on the cliff.
He doesn't have a TP.
He doesn't have a TP, no tail.
He's got to watch the runes get taken right in front of him.
Oh, he's going to be stuck up here for a little bit of time. His only way down, really, a TP delivery. And it's not going to come for a while.
No,
he has some on the courier, but of course Thompson's got to take priority.
Now they're going to shift GeForce up top. He actually was jungling as the Pugna when he got the Arcane Rune, so level 3, pretty decent levels on this Pugna to come up top and try to help Ana a little bit. And Ana already has Soul Ring, so he's got his farming item already finished up on the Spectre. But they will be able to pressure him a little bit now as GH, though, steps up a bit too far.
Get the dagger in, or GeForce moving forward. GH brought down low. GeForce needs one more blast to connect, and there it is. GH is brought out. As soon as No Tail's out of action on that top lane and on the cliff, they bring GeForce in and are able to make sure that that lane really does continue to go the favor of OG. And the time and space is created for the courier to get out, get No Tail his TP, so he's back in action.
And he's going to double stack. So he got some time wasted for himself on that Elder Titan, but gets 2 stacks up for his team to be able to farm up. And he's going to get that extra gold as well from that stack.
Yeah, and OG just really made the best out of what could have been a bit of an awkward situation.
Yep.
With OG potentially having Ana be supportless on that lane for a minute. A group back up, OG making full efficiency of the shrine. And that bottom lane, Weeha.
It's the most important one to look at.
He's getting the farm. He's able to turn into the jungle a little bit as well. In fact, with the boost, he's keeping Seb low. Seb, he's going to be able to run away with that heal, but has to be careful as that magical poof gets leveled up.
He's committing forward again, actually, onto Seb. Fakes out those poofs. Seb will be forced to pop one of the fairy fires just in case. Weeha, this is, I mean, it's a really interesting approach, right? I mean, Kuroki is literally just giving this Meepo pretty much full experience down bottom, and it's giving him good opportunities to pressure Seb. Pressure an Enchantress, which you usually do not see.
I mean, they might see if they can get the setup again as Seb gets blocked in here. Will steal the creeper Kuroki, but the controls there from Weeha. Fairy fire pop Seb. He's going to have to heal back up in a second. So once more, will be able to keep himself out of vision behind the tree. Pop the heal, Weeha's going to try. Now he's going to hold it off. He knows he's not got the damage to do so. Back up top, Liquid getting in close and personal with No Tail.
I wonder if that was a bit of a misclick bottom, right? Kuroki actually divide favored the Meepo that was right next to him. Back to... I think he was trying to pull... I don't know. It looked like he was trying to pull GH or somebody else bottom to go for the Enchantress, but he ended up pulling the Meepo that was right next to him. So a little bit of wasted time there for the divine favor on that first gank, but yeah, they do get No Tail up top.
Still overall a very close laning phase. A 1k advantage at the moment for Liquid, just 2 for 1. As there's no one really getting heavily zoned out of their lane. All the cores finding farm in this early game.
Yeah, I guess Mind Control may be the slight one, but he's just right behind Seb anyway. It's like barely any advantage for the Enchantress. But now Seb, he's trying to get it. Get some pressure on.
Making sure that Weeha cannot sort of be left to his own devices inside of the jungle.
It's a neat way of like approaching the dynamic, right? They're like, okay, Enchantress is gonna suffer a little bit here, but then GeForce, you're actually the one that can pressure tower. So now we have a Pugna that's farming bottom and taking the tier 1 as a support.
And Thompson was able to get in and grab the regen room, but Miracle, he's got backup. GH is there. Thompson, he cannot escape these twos. GH is able to block him off. He may have got the rune, but it will cost him his life. There's no further backup from OG prepared for that contest of the rune that Liquid knew was absolutely going to happen. Thompson was going to go hunting for that 8-minute rune every time.
And they actually like double protected the mid lane too with sentries just to be able to watch out for their side traps from the TA, but not up toward the rune. And those are the ones that are really going to punish the movements. You aren't able to have those sentries placed down pretty much everywhere.
Correct. He's ready to smash some fools with the double Hellbears, taking them up towards the top, set up down to Mind Control, instantly cracking shells off the sleep, but it doesn't matter. The damage output from Thompson will take Mind Control out of the lane. Successful rotation from Thompson. We'll see if he can make anything more happen with this. Kuro still around in the neighborhood. Thompson will get his hands on GH. Here's another combo. It's another kill. Thompson, with these moves that he's so well known for, he knows exactly when he can leave that mid lane, head elsewhere, and make so much happen in favor of OG as he'll slowly chase down Kuro. Sep will be there to steal the kill. but Thompson's pressure and movements at 9 minutes in, getting 3 kills for OG.
And he kills the Chen creeps as well, and he keeps the regen on, so he can go make another move. We've seen Thompson do this a lot of times.
Thompson.
Yep, when he plays the Tiny, he just gets super active. Look at Seb as well. They know that they just need to get active around the map and then just give space for Spectre.
He's trying to play the number game here, seeing if he has the damage output to bring down GeForce, but in fact it's GeForce that brings Weeha. He's one of the Meepos incredibly low. We'll be able to get into the trees. Poof back to safety, back towards mid. Thompson starting to dive in towards Miracle. He has the meld, no detection on the front lines from OG. So Miracle will be able to back away. Also GH and Kuro by his side in case the dive came in, but OG they'll hold off. Look for the 10-minute rune. Thompson's going to be able to grab it again. Double damage this time.
Oh my god.
You've got to watch out for the plays he's looking to make.
You can't let him get all these power runes. We saw what he's been able to do in the group stages when he just starts taking over runes, and it's starting to happen. Sure, Liquid, they're still looking good with their farm, but they want to be more ahead. They're all about that early game-centric draft, and Thompson's starting to move around.
There's nothing more terrifying than a Thompson Tiny coming to look for a high five. GH has to run. It's going to come over, and Thompson knows that he has dove as far as he can, or has he? Still looking at an opportunity to get in on GH as he'll look to cut down the trees. He's going to find the avalanche of Thompson. He persists. He continues the chase. He sees the opportunity, and he's just getting so much done. This Tiny just can't stop killing people.
And he's going mid again, and they're already pressuring the tower with the siege creep here, while Ana just continues to farm up top. Ana does not have, he does actually have mana for the haunt if he does use the soul ring.
Another ravage in mid. Mind Control's going to come in with a quick setup onto GeForce. A meld hit from Miracle will do the job. Now they look for the body blocks onto Seb. Smash there from the Hellbear. Liquid will punish OG. Getting themselves those 2 kills as the rest of OG sort of try and follow in the footsteps of Thompson with their aggression. Doesn't work out as well for those two.
They bring a lot of attention, though. Weeha's still able to farm the jungle for the side of Liquid, but a lot of attention's been brought onto that mid tower, and it's pretty much dead. It's down to 150 HP. But OG losing a bit more than they probably wanted to there as Mind Control getting that nice Ravage. But Ana, that's the big one to look at, right? He's gotten the Soul Ring. He's now got the Midas finished up as well. He is low, though. Weeha might actually be able to set up for this here.
Even with the one charge, he won't have enough for a horn or any way to escape as we are from the trees. He's got the catch. Ana, has he got the movement speed? He has, in fact. He's going to be able to separate himself. They're trying to go for it, but they just don't have enough duration on that lockdown. He'll be able to walk away from what looked like potentially a guaranteed kill.
And that would have been such a clutch one, too, right? It was right when the Midas was coming out. Thompson getting a bit deep here, getting surrounded. Has the phase boots win lace, but will get slowed up.
Yeah, Miracle with the wrap round. Thompson, his reign on Liquid's half of the map finally put to an end.
They are literally just running around trying to set up kills and just make space for the Spectre, but now Sam also a bit far up, and he's getting surrounded.
Trying to keep this aggression up. Just gets burst down by the heavy damage output of Liquid's heroes. He cannot continue to play this aggressive, overestimating his safety with that heal, but it doesn't matter if there's the burst online, and at this point, 12 minutes in, with Liquid having the numbers, they can easily take the Ench out of the game and put pressure onto the tier 1 tower. We'll see a TP in from Thompson. He's ready to try and help hold. A stop setup onto GH will be there, but still with the stolen avalanche, he'll keep Thompson and No-Tail at bay.
Big 2 moves there by Liquid. This is how they want to play. They want to be setting the tempo, setting the pace with their draft, getting that big early advantage, and then they can go into the Roche pit and force OG to fight them when they have this late game type of draft with the Spectre. OG doubling down to make sure they protect their mid tower too. Just all about this map control and keeping themselves farmed up. It's really going to be that name of the game. Is OG's going to try to farm, gank as well, and just let the Spectre get that late game insurance. Seb actually had a Midas queued up as well, and he switched. He's starting to realize it's not just like the magical damage that was hurting or anything, it's the physical burst from all the armor reduction. That meld plus the gush, it's too much for him to handle. He's going Ghost Scepter first time. So really needing and really wanting to emphasize that he can actually survive a single combo, but there's still a lot of magic damage also on Liquid.
I mean, pretty much what saves him from every hero apart from the Meepo. Yeah. The Weeha Meepo is still going to be a big threat for Seb, but even like that was going to be the case anyway, right? Yeah. It's not like it makes this situation worse. If it was caught out by the Meepo now, he'd probably die anyway. So having that Ghost Scepter against the other heroes on Liquid's lineup will certainly give him a chance to get the heal off, walk away, and buy time for the rest of OG to come in and keep the fight going.
Miracle, level 12. This is a very high level TA with a lot of farm right now, almost at the top of the net worth in the game. And yet level 12 in comparison to Thompson, who has been running around. As you expect, he will be starting to get behind the level.
See if he's got the duration of control with these roots. One more will be out, but there's the backup. NoTail, he's able to set up a beautiful sleep onto the three of them. GeForce and Thompson here as well. They'll look to burst him. He cannot escape for the avalanche from Thompson. He's held down. The rest of Liquid trying to abuse the fact that Seb's alone, but this time Seb will be able to walk away. The most they'll get out of it is that mid-tier 1 towers. Miracle keeps pushing on.
And there's one of the examples why ET can be so good versus Meepos. You're always going to be getting some situations where you get multi-heroes, multi-Meepo stomps, and setting up for a counter gank. And even JerAx down bottom, Ana was low. They don't want Ana to go back to base. JerAx actually drains pretty much all of his health pool with the life drain to heal up Ana so he can keep that map presence.
I mean, you can definitely feel that timer. Ana, Midas, 1,700 gold on his way towards the Relic and Radiance. They've got to keep the pressure on, and they have now got that Desolator done on Miracle. We've seen already the physical damage output they can offer, and here we have it again. Goodbye, Seb. Back to the base with you, as Liquid can now make these moves, take these tier 1s, and even start to think about going for tier 2s very early on with this Chen Deso TA combination.
Even go for sneaking a Roche. They could even just send the Chen creeps with the TA, easy Roshan, or the same thing with the Meepo. They have a lot of different options that Liquid can do in order to just sneak these very strong objectives for them that they need in this game. They want to keep the snowball going. 3K advantage, very good for Liquid right now, but they got to keep it up. They don't want to slow down in this game at all. Do not let OG back up and farm.
This is their window. This time before the Radiance, they have to take as much as they can from the map.
Seb turning up top, trying to get that creep aggro off the tower.
Also going to see NoTail start to head over. We'll get a few wards down for the vision, and back in mid, Thompson was pushing out the wave. Weehaw was ready to make the jump.
Thompson.
Can he get himself out? The avalanche buying him time to get into the trees. The next route will miss, but that one will connect as Weehaw. Has he got the damage? He
sure does.
Weehaw now starting to get the kills, and again, top lane Seb, he just gets run down by this combination of the Tide and the TA. NoTail's disabled as they'll pick him up, toss him down. Miracle's just starting to walk around with the group, get these kills after kills. They really are playing the exact pace they need to, Liquid, as they now stand at a 4K gold lead, and they're getting these early objectives.
And they're running directly to the pit. They just got all these kills on the map. They know everyone's going to be respawning, but they should be able to kill this way too fast for the side of OG to respawn, but they are going to be respawning. Let's see if they can actually make it there, as also a full Ethereal Blade now finished up for the Meepo.
Now we're going to see, when Weehaw tries to go for these kills, he's going to get them every time. There's not going to be that sort of delay, that requirement for him to hit every net. They're going to get destroyed in the first combo that the Meepo comes out with.
This is exactly how they needed to play the draft so far, and they've gotten away with that. They just need to keep that advantage pushing. Ana, about 200 gold from the Relic.
It's close.
Still a ways
the
away
timer
from
is
Radiance.
still ticking.
Yep.
That's mid lane. Thompson jumped upon. JerAx is there. Can offer the heal to keep him safe, as well as NoTail throwing out a stop. Holds Liquid back. Liquid, they're not ones to stop the pressure they're putting on. They'll stand tall here as they push on towards this tier 2 tower.
And I love how they can do this. They send Meepo bottom, they send Weehaw down there. He can set up to defend the tower, and he can just poof back in. Or even if they send another hero bottom, they can Divine Favor and bring that hero also back.
You've got to watch for mind control. That Blink and Ravage available. He's looking for an opportunity to set something up. Anytime he feels that he can get in with a Ravage, he'll go for it. In fact, they're going to try and fight with the Horde here, and straight away Ana comes into the mid. Mind control. He has the Ravage ready. The Talons are all fine with them, and now they can just run OG's hero down one by one. Thompson tries to turn with the Avalanche, but the mech is popped. Ana and Thompson are dead. They do lose Miracle for this effort, as well as Weehaw's Aegis getting taken the once. See if they can go for it a second time. No, he had the main Meepo out in the jungle, so he's easily safe and back out off the back of the respawn. A 2 for 2, well, a 2 for 1.5 with Aegis being burnt.
5-man Ravage, though, coming in. I don't think he didn't even get the blink off. He just walked in and
just walked in.
Every single one.
It was a bit of an awkward start there, really, from OG. They were going in with this Horde. Ana ends up being on the front lines. And that really was, I think, the easiest Ravage the Mind Controls had to pop.
I think they underestimated how tanky the side of Liquid really is when they have this mech finished up as well as a Hand of God up from Kuroki. We see they go in with the Haunt, but everything just gets popped pretty much right away after that Ravage, and they're all full health. I think the fight there for OG, what they're trying to do is they don't have the Radiance ready, but if they're able to do decent in that fight, and if Ana is able to actually survive the fight, he gets full Radiance and the fight explodes.
And we saw a bit more context, right? He was trying to get himself away from Weehaw down bottom. So he was sort of forced to make the Haunt play. Whoever he jumps on in the mid lane, that sort of fight's going to happen. So Ana was sort of just stuck in a very hard place in terms of the moves that he can make.
Absolutely. And we see the wards by Liquid. This is just an emphasis of how fast they want to be playing in this game. They put 3 wards watching behind this tier 2 mid. They want to really press the issue and try to close the game out with this advantage. If they can keep this advantage going, it's going to be great for them.
Everything so far on the checklist of what Liquid needs to do has been ticked. 13-7, 6K lead, both Weeha and Miracle hitting those timings. They have the farm, 10K advantage.
And you see them immediately group up, go back to the mid lane. Even if they don't have Ravage just yet, they're still just trying to set up and push the base down, push as hard as they can, take all the objectives, close the map from OG. As you see Meepo, Weeha, he's constantly on the prowl, looking for Ana, looking for the Spectre in the side lanes.
See Ana, he knows he's got to be careful, showing he's so close to having the Radiance. And at a time where Haunt is about to be back online, he's got to try and get it up, but a beautiful net into the trees there is going to hold him back, cancel the TP, should still have the chance of running away with the dagger. But I mean, I say that Weeha's continuing to another route. Weeha, he's hitting them every single time. He's held him down, the dagger is there, but there's the E-Blade. Weeha continues to play around with Ana, and they'll drag him back. GH is there with a follow-up, a beautiful play from Weeha. This is why this man's Meepo is absolutely terrifying. Yeah, thanks, Ana. I could have gone with absolutely perfect as well. You could have gone right.
Oh, that was good.
I mean, he hit them every single time, blind into the trees. That's a dead Ana. And at the most important time, he was so close to his Radiance. He had the Horn available, but he's out the game again. Liquid continuing to do everything right.
Yep. This Meepo pick is really seeming to be amazing for them as it just puts too much pressure on the map. They're able to push as a grouped unit, get these towers down, but also the Meepo can address the split push, address the late game that OG's trying to take it to. Can constantly pick off those sides. 14-7, 8K lead, 6K experience advantage as well. And immediately, they're knocking on the front door.
This is the scary bit for OGs. They sort of ask themselves, are they going to go high ground? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Deso, BKB, no reason for Liquid to start to slow down at this point. OG will turn up in their numbers.
Radiance is done. OG might look to go for taking the fight. So the backline can be very squishy versus Radiance, but they have mech. They have level 2 Hand of God for Kuroki as well. And so a lot of heal can come in.
This is the point where even though they have that 8K lead, you got to be careful. You lose one fight whilst ahead against the Spectre and his Radiance, that's when the comeback can begin.
Absolutely. But they do have BKB on Miracle. They have a lot of these big items that allows them to go for aggressive plays.
Scepter's going to buy him a little bit of time. The stolen dagger for GH is going to get chucked down upon him. JRX trying to offer him the heals. No-tail with the stomp from the high ground. Able to disable Miracle's TA. Make sure that he cannot continue to commit onto Seb, and Seb will be kept safe. As Liquid still continue to sort of dance around the outskirts of OG. Wait to see an opportunity to go in, but they know they've got to be careful. And OG, they'll smoke up. They themselves know they can get something good going with that Spectre Horn. The smoke was spotted out by the warding. So they know that OG's up to something, Liquid, and they're trying to sort of bait at the moment. Have Miracle on the front, see who reveals themselves. For now, it's just Seb.
Both sides look like they're kind of baiting, right? Seb's like, come at me. My team's on the right, you know this, but I know your team's on the left. So both teams kind of playing with each other there. Popping the south now, trying to force Miracle to go in further.
And another meld hit off him. Whoa. Seb's got to be careful. He's got the Ghost Scepter, but Mind Control jumps in Gush. Used to help slow Seb down. Still needs that second meld hit again to save JRX with the Decrepify. Stops Miracle from being able to get another touch in onto Seb. Seb will be fine. Thompson on the high ground with that Invis rune, may be able to set up a toss back. Miracle is going to receive a bit of damage from the Avalanche. Trying to bait out a BKB potentially, but Miracle keeps his cool. Relies on the refraction alone.
He's still very tanky. 1680 HP. Thompson looking to want to go back in though. He has the blink available.
Seb a little low, but the Nature's Attendants will make quick work of getting him back up to full HP. And OG, they are certainly starting to push Liquid back off their half of the map. Thompson's going to look for the quick combo on GH, but a Glimmer Cape's available. They still have the vision with the sentry down for a toss. GH, he's able to back off and get away. The Haunt now being used. They want to try and utilize this Radiance to get the kills. They'll get the support of GH. Can they get any of the bigger cores? It doesn't look like it for now. The rest of Liquid able to safely get out of there. And now Liquid, they can work with in mind that there's no Haunt Radiance. It was used only for GH. This is a good window where Liquid can get back to doing what they just were, especially with the Blink Dagger being finished on Miracle.
OG definitely wanted to get more out of that one there, but Liquid too quick to disengage. That Glimmer, just every little thing buying some time for them to get out before that Spectre Haunt is able to catch more in the back lines.
I mean, and you could see that was exactly how Liquid was playing there. That whole sort of movement and sort of hesitating to go in. They were just waiting for that Haunt. OG, they finally felt forced to try and make something happen with it, and it wasn't good enough. Liquid still able to keep this strong hold.
Both teams were definitely toying with each other a little bit there of the initiation. Both teams had good vision of each other. They both were aware of
this
most of the heroes.
It's going to have eyes on Thompson. Quick blink from Thompson out before the Gush connects. Seb's instantly out of this top area of the map.
Thompson also having a haste rune. This could be a really big one for the next upcoming fights, as he can dance in and out of the fights much easier to get multiple combos. Liquid all joining in together in the area up top. They have a Silver Edge also finished on the Meepo too. So Silver Edge in this game, I know we've seen a lot of Meepos just pick up Silver Edge, but in this game, he's versus the Spectre, he's versus an Enchantress. It's a really good Silver Edge game.
Especially in this space. You know, it still takes a little bit of time, right, to get that first hit on the edge. But when you do, she will be very, very easy to kill. I mean, item-wise, what's Seb walking around with at the moment? Just the Ogre Club, Ghost Scepter, and the Midas. Playing for that late game, playing for towards the idea that OG can continue to hold and make sure that Liquid don't take any of the tier 3s. And, you know, despite that early advantage, that they are yet to be able to break the base of OG. OG, even with not necessarily the biggest Haunt in the world, it's slowing down Liquid that little bit. That lead that they've grown has started to sort of stagnate and to stay at that same bar. If OG can take a great fight around the Haunt, the turnaround could start to come in. Seb,
for sure.
Up
Seb
to the high ground, they're getting slowed down, jump forward from Miracle. They're going to offer the stomp, it will slow down Miracle's damage output and giving Seb the time to walk out. Ghost Scepter pops as well as the heals. Liquid try and stay on top of the edge. There's the lockdown. Weehar's in with the net, they'll finally kill Seb off. Question is, how much can they do with this bit of time? No Enchantress. Ana push the bottom lane out all the way around. They can go for the tier 1 tower, but they'll struggle to go for more whilst that creep momentum has been dealt with by Ana's Spectre.
I feel like we've seen a lot of these cat-mouse games a lot here at this Internationals. When you have this late-game lineup that doesn't really have the best team fight, you're facing versus a lineup that has an immense amount of team fight, you kind of just have to dance around the map and try to take your best bets and just push, split push and catch waves and just delay the game. That's what OG's name of the game is for this one. Liquid's trying their best not to allow that to happen, and they have good heroes for it, as we were mentioning. They even have an Illusion Rune now, too, for the Meepo, so he's going to push out the bottom wave, they're going to push in the mid wave, too, and then pretty much everything is pushed in so they can go for this opportunity of that Roche.
Yeah, another Roche. Another Aegis. Of course, this time, the cheese on top as a bit of a bonus for Liquid.
Yep.
And with the speed that they do it, even with OGs, you know, some semi-decent ways to contest Roche, they just cannot set up in time. Even with the ET control around the pit, the Haunt to get in, they're still not quite ready to make those sort of aggressive plays, OG. They have to continue to wait for Liquid to come to them and for Liquid to mess up.
The scary thing is, though, it's, you know, we're saying the late game insurance always about the Spectre, but everybody else on the side of OG, they're really falling off. And it's a Spectre, sure, who's amazing in the game, but versus a TA and a Meepo, these two might be enough. It probably are enough to be able to just crush a Spectre in these fights.
Especially with the Silver Edge build, as you mentioned. They have the tools. It's not an easy situation at all for OG to get themselves out of. There's Ravage. Mind control, but the Ravage is going to buy time for the rest of the team to come over. First net won't quite connect onto Ana as he's forced back to safety. They'll still continue to try and chase on. Ana's into the trees this time. He will be able to TP out. We are not quite in range. Continue to lock him down. Thompson with a poke from the back, making sure that Liquid cannot chase down any of the remaining members of OG. He'll stay hidden in the trees. GH.
It looks like Thompson's almost playing like Tinker or something in this way. Look, right, last like 6 minutes or so, I feel like I've just seen Thompson in the tree lines, cutting creep waves to try to delay the push that's going to be coming out from Liquid inevitably.
The items for Ana are continuing to roll out. Full Manta. As usual, the items for everyone else still have ground to a bit of a halt on OG. Setups there onto one of the Meepos. They're going to drop the ult down, but already Miracle's on the backline. He's dead. He's dead. He pauses the BKB. It doesn't matter. They're able to beat him down, and now they look towards We Are. Impetus down with the impetus. It follows up. Still, he has enough HP to walk for the torch. Steps in. He's straight on top of Weehaw. Weehar's dead the once. Can they do it again? No tell. He's got the spirit out. Backing off, Weehaw again, he had the main Meepo up onto the safe area of the high ground. Thompson, he's not stopping though. They're holding back a little bit with the E-Blade. Can they get this kill? Weehaw again, boosts off to the side, but he's left one up in the high ground. Is there anything to disable? There is not. He's able to jump back down, get himself away. OG continue to chase. But these roots, these nets, they're holding OG back. Thompson in again with the blink. He needs help. We are. Is he going to get it? The stomp's down onto the entire army of Meepos. Hand of God's pop. We are trying to turn. Miracle is killed on Jarek. The buyback from Miracle. They're trying to get around Liquid. They'll get Thompson and Jarek. Set with no doubt. They're going to try and run. Anna, he's in with a horn. Chasing down We Are. He can surely finish this kill off. We Are solo. The Glimmer give it a line. Finally, Anna gets We Are. Liquid back to looking to continue the cleanup. They'll chase Seb. Seb's heals will not be strong enough. Seb will fall. There's no tell. TP out in the trees gets him away. Anna's still in the neighborhood, but he will manage to make his way out of there. They get the kill on Weeha. They force out a buyback from Miracle, but still it cost them a lot, and they're diving deep, OG.
You see how much they want to go for those dive plays, though. They're like, Ana is getting kills, Ana is being enabled, Ana, right, for OG. That's all they're thinking about, is just making this man shine. And they're starting to. He's almost creeping toward the #1 net worth as a Spectre. That was a pretty big chase out there, being able to slow down Liquid's Aegis and Cheese push. There's Miracle dying so fast in the fight. Now he has Cheese, but he died so quickly in that last.
He went straight in, felt confident with the BKB. But I believe they were able to just get enough burst out before he actually popped the BKB. He died so quickly after. I mean, this was a great sort of bring back from Liquid. This fight could have certainly gone a whole lot worse for Liquid, but they were able to draw OG so far and so deep that a buyback from Miracle was able to be there in time to allow them to get some kills in return. And he nearly sort of survives this.
It was all of these, it was every little thing inside of that instance too. It was the Hand of God, I believe it was the mech as well, and then he also E-blades the Meepo that's getting focused. So they had to keep switching targets between which Meepo they wanted to actually focus down in there. So it buys a lot of time, but that is a Miracle buyback that is forced. So he has to watch out in these next situations, not to get caught out, because a TA that goes down for 100+ seconds in these next few moments could be devastating.
We are. He's found himself something juicy. Thompson out in the jungle, does have a blink. She's going to try and get out, going for the TP. GH, will he find him in time? He will. GH in with the grab as Thompson is held back away from being able to TP back to the safety of his base. Dead for 50 seconds. No buyback as well on Thompson. So if Liquid can get the push back together, the base could be in trouble. You have to watch out for any sort of opportunity that Liquid is able to push high ground, because with this TA and Meepo, they make very quick work of the structures.
And Ravage is back online. That was the other important thing too, right? OG, they knew Ravage was on cooldown, so they knew they could chase all the way to the base of Liquid. But now Ravage is back. That's Liquid's timing with this cheese to make sure that Miracle gets his BKB off and just protect him. That TA cannot die in these next few moments.
Really just feels, the whole team of OG just sort of standing on Anna's shoulders. He's carried them before. This game is going to be quite a heavy one, but he has got the farm. The problem is that the farm fatigue Liquid is so well dispersed across all their carries. They're all a threat for every single member of OG.
And Thompson's been the punching bag this game. His net worth, he's probably going to get surpassed by JerAx at some point in this game, but JerAx is pretty farmed in this one also for a Pugna. But yeah, like you said, it's mostly on Ana's shoulders right now for the side of OG, as he's got a fair bit of money on this Spectre. Pretty much having the Heart finished up. He's been deciding which one he wants to do. He's switched between Diffusal and Heart 3 or 4 times now. Now he's queued up the Diffusal. Looks like if with the Diffusal, he can kill those backline heroes so easily.
He just feels like he has to do everything right now. He has to survive. He has to do the damage. Sometimes the best defense is an offense. That's why we're seeing him queue that Diffusal blade up potentially instead of the Heart. We'll see what he does invest into, and he's going to buy it up. Diffusal will be there for the next fight, so if they can get in with the perfect haunt timing, you could start to see a fight where OG are able to sort of pick apart the backline as an Ana can move from kill to kill.
Even pick apart the backline, but also look for Mind Control. Mind Control, 700 mana on Tidehunter. Your Ravage, your spells cost a lot of mana.
Jump forward. They've got the silence, they have the physical burst. Seb steps too far forward.
50 seconds, no edge. Might try to press their issue up onto that high ground here with that time.
You see every time, no tail. Just making sure the spirit is sort of out in between the teams. So anytime that Liquid do get a kill like this, they cannot just easily collapse onto the remaining members of OG.
His job is, keep your spirit for that natural order on top of pretty much everybody so that Ana can do all that extra damage. Keeps throwing it out. And just continue to try to delay. Seb, gonna be respawning in about 15 seconds. But during all this, see Weeha. He's not keeping all his meepos here, obviously.
No,
he's farming all over the place.
The efficiency for Liquid to sort of utilize the map whilst OG is pushed in is absolutely perfect with this meepo. He can get so much out of being everywhere. Being with the push, being in the jungle, being in the lane. And we are absolutely one of the best in the game at doing so with this hero.
Yeah, and they can even, like we were talking about before too, it's not just the meepo that can go around everywhere, because they have a Chen, they have Divine Favor, so if they want to send another hero even, they can always be pulling people across the map with that Rapture ability of the Divine Favor. As you see the meepo top, silver-edged, Weehaw trying to find a frag as he knows OG is going to be setting up on the sides. The smoke comes out, Thompson gets broken right away, he knows, he's pinging it.
At the same time, that will give the info to Liquid that OG are split up. They know that they're not all towards the mid lane. So if the rest of the team can get some sort of a jump, but it's hard, especially Ana. This is really, I guess, the sort of the last hero you want to tackle. Miracle gonna head over to try and go for the bounty room. We'll actually be able to grab it just by the three of them being here, but they'll look to make him pay. They'll lead in, BKB's popped by Miracle. Ana will continue to chase with the horn.
He's following him.
He's staying on top of him, making sure that any sort of escape is hard. Mind Control's going to come in the back. He's looking to try and draw the attention of the rest of us. Yeah, there's the Ravage Pod, and now the turnaround comes into play. Liquid, they'll surround Ana. He dove through far. The Spectre's dead. He's got buyback, but of course with the horn already used, there's no way for him to get back into the fight. So Ana has to sit on the sidelines and just watch as the rest of OG gets bullied heavily by Liquid. The traps are set, Seb's surrounded. We are double kill as OG again struggling to get anything going their way against Liquid. Another sort of end of a bit of a dry spell where this passive play comes to a point where the frustration is felt. Ana feels he has to try and make something happen with the horn. It doesn't go their way, and in fact, mid lane, another attempt to push out Thompson was trying to get the creep waves away from the base, but Weehaw, he is just everywhere on this map.
Ooh, it's starting to get a bit out of hand here. Ana, he's diving forward for the kills, but that cheese gets popped. Oh, they actually popped the glyph. HyperX isn't able to get that one there with the blast even. He's gonna try again, but Weehaw, he's here.
He's gonna make him pay for it. Or at least try to do so, JerAx. They'll find him once and force to the side, the roots, making sure that no glimmer will save him. He gets it to Crepify off, but it doesn't matter as he ticks down to the output of Weehaw. Back towards mid, OG, they've got 4 dead. Finally, Seb's back in the game. 20 seconds until Ana returns, but obviously a longer cooldown that matters, that 30 seconds before Horn. As even with the Horn, we've seen with how far Liquid are ahead, OG just struggle to get any fights going in their favor as they'll dive in. Weehaw, with all the stats, he's so tanky now in the meepo that they cannot bully him away. And 36 minutes in, Liquid will finally get themselves into the base, take that mid ranks. They're going to look for more. JerAx still down for 20. And they do have that meepo ready to go. They get the toss back on Mind Control. See if they've got the damage to beat him down. No-tail offering quite a bit of right clip, but Miracle is in straight away. Look at the backline. He's on top of the ET. Ana's going to step forward for Mind Control. Horns pop. Can they get any of these kills? They're on to Miracle. Miracle BKB trying for the DPM, but he has the damage set with the impetus. Takes down TA. And the chase continues. Ana, he found Mind Control. A second kill here for OG. Weehaw surrounds Ana. Ana needs the safety jack. He's there. Healing it. The Crepify the heal. Ana is still alive. Seb sits to the side. Throws out the impetus. And Weehaw is falling low. GH cannot save him. Weehaw is dead. OG, they'll hold on to the game. They may have lost their ranks, but they team-wiped Team Liquid. That's the Horn they've been looking for.
And No-Tail finally is able to be an Elder Titan in the game where he can stand next to the agility heroes. We see how much damage Ana is able to do inside of that one. No-Tail's just standing next to both of them the entire time. Liquid jumped in too far forward. Miracle.
They're getting the Roshan. Or at least they're trying. There'll be a buyback from GH. There's got to be more buybacks if Liquid want to try and force OG away. JerAx.
More buybacks.
He's already up to the high ground. They do have the Ravage still on Mind Control. Mind Control. He's looking for that option. He's stepping in. Stomp from No-Tail.
Ravage.
Does get it out. No follow-up though. It's a bit of a Ravage. And then a death. Mind Control, there's no follow-up.
Now
They've got in. They've lost 2.
Oh, God.
As Liquid, they throw bodies into the pit, but not enough, and not at the right time as OG. They'll get Roche. They'll get the Aegis, the cheese, and an Aghanim's for No-Tail.
Aghanim's for No-Tail. He picked it up instantly. It looks like he wanted it. I mean, he wants to get in.
Yeah, he's the captain.
I mean, that tells me that he wants to be...
Yeah.
Wait, how much... So with meepo, you're actually getting the extra duration. So usually how the stomp works is however many heroes you hit with your stomp, you get the BKB timing when it comes back. But now he's going to be hitting a lot of heroes, which means he can frontline, which means he can stick on top of the heroes and apply the natural order.
This is the Meepo counter.
This is a very interesting
On another
approach.
level. On another level.
All right, let's. I mean, that
and
is.
look at the gold difference. There's only a 1K gold in it.
Let's just bring up the graph. Look at this. Look at this swing. It is a 20,000 gold swing as well as a 20,000 experience swing. Oh my God, OG. They now have a full heart on the Spectre, level 25 as well. It's back the other way.
It really is. And at the point where it felt like for Liquid, it was going to really start going their way. The final moment that they were actually able to take that mid-tier 3 in the racks, that's when the game turned around entirely on its head.
The Meepo had no buyback for all of it, right? Weehaw spent all his gold thinking
now it's OG.
And now it's OG. They're taking tier 3. Oh my God.
Seb's got a full E-blade. OG, they've done it time and time again. In games and in whole tournaments when people have been quick to count them out. They strike back. They strike back hard. They're pushing onto the ranks. Liquid will have their whole team back up, so we'll see how much OG can get. Anna still feeling confident on the front lines with that heart and Aegis. Thompson jumps in, finds Miracle outside of the base. He's stunned up. Miracle trying to hold on to the BKB charge, but it's slowing him down. They'll put the BKB, the impetus is there for Seb, and just forcing Liquid back. As Liquid, they're held back behind their racks. The creeps are gone. Backdoor protection will kick back in for Liquid, but now it ends once more. As the mid lane reaches the middle racks, the range racks are gone. OG, they're going to get the melee racks as well.
I've been watching Weehaw with this real Meepo. He's just running around trying to cut waves, collect bounty runes.
But they're losing the base.
But they're losing the base.
They need Weehaw to bring his army in for the fight, but it's scary. The Elder Titan and the Axe. It's not easy for Weehaw to fight into his OG. They're not leaving, they're not going anywhere.
And look at where they're hiding the backline. Look at GeForce as well as Noto. They're hidden so far away from everybody else. They want nothing to do with this Meepo wraparound.
He's going to go in with the Rampies. They'll be able to get Seb first. Can they get more? Anna, still not the target they want to find. They want to try and find the easier kills for Notail. He's able to walk this off with that Axe effect. Another hero that's now so hard for Liquid to ever get on top of. Zana.
He's committing for it. He has heart.
He knows that he's safe. He's just running down Kuro. His team cannot really keep the Spectre off the Chen. As Kuro has to opt for the TP out, will manage to make it on the high ground. Anna won't continue to chase and look for the right clicks. We are against the break hit. But OG, they're now starting to play around with Liquid. Mike's drone blinks out. Miracle does pop the BKB. They're trying to run down Jarex, but the net won't catch it.
They just can't. Like, Anna's literally running into 5 heroes by himself, and the rest of the team is all the way in the back line. They just cannot deal with Spectre now.
I mean, Mind Control's still trying to chase, but they just cannot do it. In every fight, the mana gets so low. Anna.
He's healing up. He's getting ready to hunt. It looks like he's eating 2 mangoes.
Oh, they've got to be careful. Liquid, if they continue to try and chase this, you know that horn plate's going to come in, and there it is. Straight away, they'll turn towards Weehaw. He was the one that's tried to start the fight off committing, but they'll turn. The damage being done from the sidelines as there comes the sun for Jarex. Bring Weehaw over to get the proof off. Weehaw will survive. Miracle, he's looking for that pesky poke there along with the help of Mind Control, but another Glimmer Cape play. Gets Jarex away. Notel goes for the storm, won't get it out. Miracle's got the physical damage output to take him down in time. There's now Liquid. They'll find Jarex as well. In the trees with the roots. Have they got the damage to kill him off? He'll slide to the side. He's trying to run away. Another net will catch him out. He'll kill Jarex. Trees are being thrown left, right, and center. Thompson, can he bring down Wee with the radiance of Anna burning him down? They can. They get Weehaw.
This Spectre is just an absolute monster. They can kill the other heroes. They can constantly do that inside of Liquid, but Anna doesn't look like he's dying again in this game.
He really
so
does.
far out of position.
That Anna Spectre, no, this is not the first time we've seen it at this TI, where he just comes into games and takes over entirely. You really have to appreciate that for a large portion of the mid game. OG, what about 15k behind?
15,000.
Anna was the only one that was really having a game. Look at that drop on.
Yep. And you said we've seen Anna play at this TI. We also saw him playing it last TI.
Yes.
He loves his Spectre.
Anna is back. He really is at full power here in the grand finals. This game one, OG swinging it round entirely. Liquid could not get enough done early on, as this is a second set of racks that OG is taking away.
Liquid has to be pretty thankful that they still have a tier 2 up top. So OG isn't going to be able to go for those megas, as they're going to back up, but what a swing. As Liquid, how do they take fights? They now have a pretty solid build here on Miracle. He's got the Bloodthorn plus the Nullifier, but he's all in.
He's got to be worrisome, right? For Weehaw, he goes fully in on this stat build, right? No sort of X, the double Scardy.
Yep.
And still, they are killing him in the fights. It's not enough HP.
Because the HP is not the thing, right? If they're the ET, sure, he's died in the last ones, but it does amplify so much, and they do have that straight up damage that can't come out. Now we're seeing Thompson, he's starting to rack up too. He's got his Daedalus finished. Daedalus Tree Volley. They have the ways, the means to be able to bring down that Meepo.
They really do.
And now I guess the lanes are being pushed in. Oh, gee, they're setting up to go for that tier 2 top. They've got their pretty much everything available. They've got the Haunt now too.
And a lot of those stats sort of rendered ineffective, right? All this agi that's giving him, what, 30 armor, it's taken away. There's no flat armor.
As long as the ET's next to him, yeah.
Sure.
As long as No-Tail can actually get
most of these fights,
which he is going to.
With that axe, he can afford to get in and stomp off, and they aren't killing No-Tail straight away in the fights anymore.
There's too many things they have to pay attention to. There's too many target priorities that Liquid want to go for. But that might just be the biggest one. Trying to get this Elder Titan.
I think the big one really for Liquid is getting that another fight. It is there. Another fire in TA. There was already, what, two Ghost Scepters and an E-Blade on OG's lineup and a Decrepify. Now they can have a bit more luck on committing for the kills. They'll find Thompson. He's out. They have the pick-off potential. Anytime the OG is separated, you cannot write off how quickly Liquid's lineup can delete heroes, with Miracle's build sort of coming to completion with the Bloodthorn Nullifier.
Well, Thompson was just cutting bottom weight, it looks like there, while his team was pushing top, and he just gets caught up, but he has buyback.
That'll be a buyback.
GH dies very quickly. Mind control now.
Surrounding him.
Mind control.
Jumping back. These rainbows, they hurt. I mean, they do not have buyback. They do not have buyback. Neither mind control or GH. They cannot get back into the game.
That's going to be
an OG,
great
they're going to know this. They're going to keep the pressure up on top. Heart, Butterfly, 5.7k gold in the bank. Why not? INTERCEPTOR so far ahead right now, as he leads his team towards the third and final set of racks. Miracle has to blink away. Now the buybacks are available for the two of them. They have the gold to get back in. Fortification will slow down OG's efforts for now.
But they're still going to stay. OG, this is the last set of racks. Ana still feeling that powerful. There's the buyback from the Tide. The Melt Bash.
They found one outside of the base though. Weehai trying to step out. The combo, the magical damage isn't going to get him. It will. The storm sends him off. No-Tail's able to catch him before he's able to poof back. Meepo dead. He's going to have to use the buyback. Out it comes. Zana will get the D award and continue to push on, taking these racks. Mind control, trying to step forward, but Seb turns towards him. Seb pretty low on the mana, but he's got enough rainbows to bring mind control down to about 25% of his HP. Now pop the BKB and Miracles, looking for the backlines again. These Ghost Forms are annoying him. The Dispel will be there. Onto No-Tail, but Thompson's got the combo, the damage to kill him off. Mind control is in with the Ravage. They're trying their best to commit on top of Seb. Gush is out. Can they even kill off the Enchilo? They've tried their best on the high ground Ana. He has been nullified. The damage output, it's enough. Again, this single target from Liquid, if they get it going, they can still kill the cause of OG. Even the big old Spectre. As Liquid will hold, it's 3 buybacks they have to use.
Seb instantly buying back. The Roche is up.
They want to contest it.
Going into it there's going to have to be a bunch of buybacks for OG. They have Refresher queued up on Ana. How much gold does he have for buyback? He doesn't have, he's almost has enough for buyback with the Refresher. But Liquid,
if he wants to sell one of his items,
they're going to be able to get this one though.
OG, of course, were able to take that melee rack stop, so they are just holding on to a ranged racks Liquid, but they are doing exactly that. They are holding on in this game.
And Thompson, he was already positioned up toward top, looking to try to go for more split push. But Liquid, they have to just run it down the mid lane, try to force these buybacks. Aegis Cheese.
Well, we see, at the moment, the Aghanims and the Refresher Shard being held by mind control. Is yet to consume the Aghanim's blessing. Liquid trying to force out these buybacks. Ana, he's got to buy back. The tier 4s are being focused. They're not interested in Megas Liquid. They're just interested in ending the game.
Still holding on to it.
The first tier 4's down. Liquid, they're going to be able to get potentially another one out of this. Kuro falling low, turn with the Penitent. He's still alive at the back of this. Finally, the buyback comes out. The Ancient is exposed.
The Ancient's gone down.
Ravage. They're just going to keep hitting on. Liquid, they've done it.
Oh my god.
What an end to game 1. It looked like Liquid had it in the early game. It looked like they started to throw it away. It looked like OG was on the verge of getting the win. They took everything bar 1 range racks from Liquid's pace. But then Liquid, they come back into the game, get the Roche, run down mid. Ana, I don't know why he was waiting, but he never bought back.
He held it
to that very last moment. But at that point, it was too late. control with a spectacular, tentacular finish to the game. Ravages them. It gives all the space in the world for them to take down the Ancient.
If that's a telling of anything that we're going to see in these next few games, bring it on.
I can't quite believe what we saw in this game.
The graph
had
is the
everything.
story right there. If you look, I mean, you guys can't see the graph right now, but it's just all the way up for Liquid, then all the way slams down for OG's favor, then all the way back up for Liquid. What a back and forth one that looked like OG. They were going to be able to take it there with the super
really
Spectre, but Liquid, the perseverance, they're able to isolate him, and they kept their cool.
They really, really did. What a way to start off the best of 5 grand finals here at the International 2019. But Team Liquid, after some incredible back and forth action, will take game 1.
Woo, what an absolute roller coaster of a game. And that was just the first one to open up the International Grand Finals of 2019. Now, before we're gonna here discuss that, we're gonna give the draft panel a crack at trying to break that first game down. Take it away, Tsunami.
Really, there's only one thing necessary to break down, and that's the dichotomy between the Spectre and the Meepo.
Yep.
You had mentioned earlier that Spectres these days, they're going for Midases, and that's something that, you know, for a lot of people would seem a little bit uncommon. You're a hard carry, you want to get to your Radiance, you're farming Accelerant as quick as possible. So allow me to show you just how much a Midas helps the Spectre in terms of net worth. This is the comparison between the Meepo's net worth and the Spectre's net worth. Obviously, we're seeing a few dips every once in a while, but that's because, you know, buybacks or winning a team fight and stuff like that. It's not often that a Spectre would be able to stay this close to a Meepo in terms of net worth.
Yeah, usually the Meepo's gonna like get really far ahead. That hero's like supposed to control the early game, right? Nothing else matters in the game besides the first 30 minutes. Usually, the saying is like if Meepo goes to late game, he's gonna lose, and in that game, he won the late game.
Yeah, I always consider it like a high acceleration, low top speed kind of thing. It's kind of why, same thing with anti-mage. Like, you get that farm extremely quick, and all of a sudden, you're all capped out, right, Pilot Eye?
Yeah, but you would also expect, I don't know, I mean, I'm just looking at your cool graph there, but when a team is ahead and they have a Meepo, like generally that Meepo is, like it's going crazy. Like the net worth is just balling out of control. But like in this patch, it's very hard to punish. Like if one guy like wants to get farmed, like and he's just playing for the farm, like it's very hard to stop him.
It's like Alchemist, right?
Yeah, I mean that's why Alchemist feels very annoying to play against, because when he disappears, like he's just even fatter than these other guys.
So then, do you think it's a disadvantage that they already revealed the Meepo this early on in a best of 5? Because like RMN was talking that in a best of 5 you can drop a game. And maybe that's what he was thinking when he was like, okay, we can pick a Meepo. We'll see how that one pans out. Instead, they just straight up go for it in game 1, and it brings them success. So moving forward, is that something that's going to be like respect banned by OG? Or was it just the same state of mind for OG where they're like, whatever, we can drop when we got Meepo, it's fine?
I think it's more, I'm pretty sure they played it earlier in the tournament, right?
Yeah.
So I've seen a few times, but it's not like, I think it was like a lot of like their Ench counter in the safe lane, like the trick. But I'm pretty sure OG saw it coming. Like that's at least what the coach said, Sox, right? Like, I'm pretty sure they should have seen that Meepo coming. And now, like, if they first pick Ench, they'll think about that Meepo.
It just says,
but
like,
at the same time, though, like, look at that game.
Yeah, it could like force out a ban. It could force out a ban later if they're scared. It opens up maybe one more hero slot for Liquid to pick another hero in the draft. Maybe like Meepo was their second option, but their first was banned, so can maybe get in the heads of OG.
And then how do you think about the priority of Enchantress now? So the first bans were the Magnus, the IO, and then what was the third ban that Liquid went for? Alchemist, yeah, exactly. So now you gave away the Enchantress. You proved that you know how to deal with an Enchantress. Yeah. Is OG still going to value that hero as highly?
It's hard to. This is like it's very hard to be objective and look at it in a logical way when the game goes like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have things to consider, right? Like Liquid consider Shen a counter, like in terms of like he shows up to lane, he has more regen for his partner, and he can TP back, he can bring him back.
Right.
So like maybe they'll be banning Shen if they want to first pick Ench. But yeah, I think they might stick with it. That's what I would think.
Yeah, it didn't necessarily. I mean, the game was at a precipice. It could have literally gone either way.
The issue with the Meepo though is you have to pick it late in the stage, like second, third phase usually, and all the other like strong heroes right now are first phase. Like even Alchemist used to be like a 10th pick. Now people are just first picking and winning every game. So this Meepo hero can't be in that situation, I think, right now. The hero itself is too weak. So you have to pick it later, which kind of devalues it. So the Ench might still be high value.
Very well, gentlemen. I appreciate the insight. We'll get more from you guys as we move on to the Game 2 draft, but I'll send it back to you guys for right now.
Thank you so much. And indeed, I mean, with that all said, Grant, can you guess who the people that were watching have voted for the MVP? It's a tough choice.
It has to be Weehaw.
Was it Weehaw? Could it be, you know?
It was.
Easy Weehaw. 36,000 votes.
And that was a well-played game by him, right? You don't always think about it. It has to be a safe lane Meepo because they have a TA who's, I mean, TA safe lane is the worst thing I've ever seen. So they're forced to put the Meepo there and still just has an amazing game like Weehaw, right? The only one who hasn't won a TI on the stage. He's been in the grand finals, but he hasn't won one, and he just has the performance of a lifetime.
Oh, man, but were you guys getting flashbacks? I was getting flashbacks, right, to last year, right? You're like, okay, OG, they're behind, but Liquid, I mean, they look so dominant. I thought, okay, yeah, this game's over. Liquid are going to do it, and then OG, they just start rallying, right? They just play these incredible team fights that are just on a hair, a knife's edge of just this heal from Jerax from the support Pugna, who hadn't got a whole lot done that game necessarily up until those points. Keeps the game alive, keeps it going, and then I thought that was going to be so demoralizing for Liquid if they managed to lose in that fashion, but they did not. But they have defeated the curse of OG.
I think Liquid could have closed out the game a bit more earlier after the second Roche when they had the cheese TA aggressively blinked in, didn't pop it, and this is what gave OG opportunity to come back into this game. Also, again, stacking minus armor, Deso, Meld, Gush, Solar Crest. If Spectre is isolated on top of Bloodthorn, she just gets melted. If she's away from the team, if no one can protect her. But we got to give credit to OG because of all the kiting they did in the mid game with the Force Staff, with all the Ghost Scepters, even E-Blade on Ench, plus a Decrypify on who had Pugna, Zolt. That was a lot of kiting and just a beautiful Dota to watch.
Very great Dota to watch. You see also Kura with a 2-3-20 stat. It's great, but it's it's a slow hero. I normally feel like he's the target that's going to die a lot.
Yeah.
And he was dying the least.
And he was, and they talked about it, right? That hero is just so good because it helps other heroes. Like, you always get the lane you want. That's the biggest thing. You, no matter what, get the lanes you want because of the teleport. You don't have to waste your TP. And then he's just running around with... They don't even want to kill him. That's the thing, right? They're like, we don't want to kill this guy. Then what if he just buys back and, saves someone, brings them to base? Like, we'll just leave him alone, and you can't do that either.
So far, Tide and Chen together, when combined, they're 5-0. And Tide has 65% win rate overall. There's no counter for Tidehunter being picked in those games. Like, he gets the Ravage every single time in a team fight, and there's no way to counter. He has enough armor to sustain through initial burst, and then he just pops it.
That's terrifying. Feels like statistics winning games there. It has been a crazy first game of the grand finals. I mean, this is the promise of what's to come. I mean, I'm game, and I'm sure that two other members of our broadcast teams are game as well. Casey and Slacks, what are you up to in this grand finals?
Well, we're having a hard time knowing who to root for because these are such amazing games. So we've been just running around, interacting with the crowd, interacting here on the floor. And the exciting thing about TI is the games are amazing. Dota is fantastic, but there's also this entire crew of people behind the scenes who have become fans over the years. Myron and I have been working this event for 7 years, and it's a tradition. It's time for me to try his job and let him be the reporter for once. Myron, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Here we go. Thank you.
Good job, Casey. Hey, on behalf of the entire broadcast crew, thanks, China. We love you.
Myron, you rock. Thank you, buddy.
Can I want my camera back?
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay. All right.
I want my
Thank
camera back.
you. All right. Get in here, buddy. Get in here. The fans are loving this Dota, man.
Who isn't loving this Dota? Everybody loves a good throw.
Okay. You got to do it. Did you bring your banana?
No, I'm not ready for that yet. You didn't say we're doing that yet. It's a best of 5. Don't ruin it again. Throw it back, for God's sakes. What are you doing?
Actually,
thank you. That was a great throw indeed. Back to the panel we go. I mean, was it a throw? Can we call it that? Because I felt like it was a great hold that OG did, and not necessarily a throw. I feel like that's two different things.
I don't want to say it was a throw, but Anna not buying back quicker definitely cost. When you saw when they were walking backstage, like, he looked really, really down. Seb was patting him on the head, like trying to look up, but I have not seen someone on OG look that down after that.
There's an old saying, every game is throwable if you try hard enough. But I really don't think this.
I think you invented that saying. Yeah.
Yeah, never heard that
quoting
before.
smart
But
people, you know.
It's a chaotic game. I think any game with Meepo is going to be extremely chaotic. Like new factors coming to play that maybe you're not expecting because it's not a hero we get to see too much. Things can end kind of both ways in an instant. If you just get diebacks, suddenly it's over because he feels like such a massive part of your team play. And then there's also all these cool item counters. Like we talked about the Bloodthorn coming out where it's like, wow, Bloodthorn's an insane item with Meepo because you target one person and then it like constant crits over and over. And then the same idea with the ET got that Aghanims. And we were like, oh, is this it for OG? Because that ET is like going to have that big BKB and everything. But it's always going to be like that, I think, where it's a knife's edge with the Meepo game.
Talking about items, there's Silver Edge on this Meepo who breaks both the Spectre 2 abilities from Spectre Desolate and Dispersion and the Enchantress. So it's pretty easy to play if you can get it off.
Well, I kind of also want to talk about MVPs a little bit because if OG would have won that game, Anna would have been MVP.
Would have been voted MVP
right?
for
would
sure.
Have been voted MVP,
yes.
correct.
That's what I meant.
You know, if you're done, you know, I loved watching Jarek's that game when they were pushing the high ground. He just had Brown Boots Aether Lens just healing Seb over and over. It was just super obnoxious to watch in a good way.
I think I probably would have voted for a Thompson and the way he was just like constantly split pushing across the map, keeping those lanes out because he's the reason why. Think about the map presence they have. They have a Meepo and a Chen. He should be able to be everywhere, and somehow Thompson is still creeping along the edge of those maps and keeping those lanes pushed to keep OG in that game.
That is very impressive. So you guys wouldn't vote for Anna?
Yeah, we're off Anna.
That's just mean.
It's a carry. I mean,
exactly.
It's a carry, you know?
You know what, actually, I want to, before we're going to see the teams walking out, I want to just quickly say, read a tweet that was sent by Sumail, who is by a lot of players seen as potentially one of the greatest players of all time. He said, the best team ever in Dota is playing versus Liquid Karaoke Boss.
Damn.
So, you know, I feel like he's already got a winner in mind.
He does. A little bit of shade at Liquid, perhaps?
Yeah, we'll talk more about potential greatest players of all times later on. But let's first welcome our teams back on the stage. Since their inception, they were denied the opportunity to play each other on the main stage of an international in 2016, in 2017, and in 2018. They avoided each other on the main stage. They faced once in groups. We're not going to talk about that. But this is something these two teams have looked forward to since they got started. And it is time. They're meeting in the grand finals of the International 2019. What greater opportunity to have these two teams finally going head to head right here in Shanghai. And I know that there's a lot to be said about the stories and the players, and normally that's what I get excited about, but there is one person that can talk about stats, and it gets me excited like no other. Nahaz, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Shiver. As we get ready for game two, the players are just now entering the pods. I wanted to take a quick look at some of the numbers, talking about these two teams' play styles. And I'm going to highlight the 25-minute period, that key mid-game control period where games are decided in this meta. OG, 18.3 kills as a team at that 25-minute mark. That is by far number one at this tournament, more than 2 ahead of any other team. Liquid, since the main event have started, though, have played incredibly clean Dota, only 9.44 deaths at that 25-minute mark. That is by far the fewest. Liquid, with that game one draft, really stole the initiative. What part of that was contesting Rosh. These are the most active early Roshan teams in the tournament, first and second in early Roshes per game. By 25 minutes, you saw that 25-minute Rosh fight, 27-minute rather Rosh fight in game one played a huge role in deciding that outcome. And smokes, OG's smokes are very early. They're using those smokes to set up kills. Liquid, their smoke usage spikes around the 30 to 35-minute mark as they place more importance on those base pushes, deep pushes into enemy territory. And of course, we can't talk about this team matchup without talking about arguably two of the most exciting players ever to grace the TI stage, the A God and the M God, Ana and Miracle. These two players are number 1 and number 2 in kills per minute all time in international play, averaging better than a kill every 5 minutes. They are also the top 5 in GPM all time, both over 600, and they are the only 2 players top 5 in all 3 of those categories. But of course, in game 1, it was the newcomer Weeha on his Meepo that had the biggest impact. Now 28-20 in Pro Dota 2 on that hero. He is the winningest pro Meepo player of all time. We are ready to see if OG can bounce back in game 2. Back to our panel.
Thank you so much. I mean, seriously, you're the only one that can talk so enthusiastically about that and still are able to take me with you every step of the way. That is a skill that is very unique, and it just makes me more excited to see this grand finals develop, evolve. What can come next? What is next?
It's true. Anna versus Miracle, right? I mean, we saw the side-by-side just kill after kill, gank after gank. It's just so fun to watch those two play. Anna, he's good at farming, but once he gets that farm, the activity on the map he does is just all over the place.
Yeah, I heard the Chinese fans, they've dropped the letter. The other, you know how everyone's like A God, M God, B God? They no longer use the letter for him. He's simply God because of the way he's been playing so far this tournament. He's surpassed the tier of needing a letter before his name. So gonna see now if he can manage to take game 2 for his team.
I love the stats about the early game. Both of these teams are known to play extremely aggressive, and the usage of the smokes, that was a really good point from the Haas.
It was indeed. And we had a roller coaster of first game. I want a roller coaster of a series. Let's find out if that's going to happen in game 2.
OG versus Team Liquid. Grand Finals, Game 2.
Grand Finals Game 2, that's right. Liquid pull out a Game 1 victory just very narrowly against a roster that's so storied. OG, Pilot, I didn't get to formally introduce you, but welcome to the panel.
Thank you.
Still here with Gunnar as well. And I just want to ask you a question about OG as a team. Like, it's unprecedented for the most part that a team with the exact same roster, after an entire year of balance patches, attends another Grand Finals at a level of the game like, you know, maybe Na'Vi was able to do a TI1, TI2. The game has gotten significantly more competitive. How do you think a team like OG has been able to manage such a feat like that?
I think it's somehow they just hit the... Okay, there are like basically 2 reasons, I think. One reason is like they split the team after TI8, right?
Okay.
Anna left. And like they were just tumbling around. Like they were not looking good.
Yeah.
Like it was not pretty. And then like I think everyone knew that eventually he was going to come back.
Right.
So like, yeah, they like connected like, I don't know, it was a few months ago, right? And like they had a bit of time. And they were still not doing that good, but you could see like they were a team again, like they were strong. And then, I don't know, they have like this attitude when it comes to TI. Like somehow they get in this mindset where like they can play carefree. Like they don't stress themselves out. They don't get exhausted. Like they can just keep going. And then like they feel confidence in each other and like they like whatever ideas they have.
So you're saying like the absence makes the heart grow fonder kind of thing? So
oh, for sure, for sure.
Anna leaves for a little bit and then you...
I mean, if they were losing the entire year with Anna, then it would be harder.
True.
Like, there's more like baggage. Because like last TI was the same, right? Like he comes in. And like it's not like they haven't played with him before. Like No-Tail won majors with that guy, and Seb, like he was coach, and he was the coach.
Yeah, he was the coach then.
So, like, and the other reason is just I don't know. It's like how they play and like the heroes they have. I'm not sure. It just fits TI perfectly.
It does, and we even felt that last TI, and it's not like they're even picking the same heroes as last TI or anything like that, because, well, for one thing, Grimstroke is getting selected. That dude wasn't even at last TI, so it's just, you know, it's that kind of magic that is so difficult to replicate, but Liquid proving that there are some vulnerabilities as they do take Game 1, and we are moving our way through the draft. Magnus, AA, and IO ban, so instead, OG choose to ban out the Alchemist, and Liquid will, I guess, swap bans. They'll ban the AA instead. Liquid picks up Tidehunter and Templar Assassin. OG has Grimstroke and Tiny.
Yeah, so Liquid had first pick this game, so they gave the threat of the first pick Alchemist.
Ah, okay.
So they banned the A, the Alch gets banned in response, and then the one big change was the Chen ban.
Yes.
Because I think that really helped Liquid's early game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, speaking of the Shen, like, Kuro actually, like, that's a new thing for OG too. Like, I think Liquid is a scarier both first pick and second pick team than LGD. Like in terms of the heroes they do. Like when they first pick Shen on Liquid, like, you know, like that hero is gonna impact. Like he has a lot of like branches. Like he's comfortable with that hero. He knows what he can do with it and what he wants to do with it. And for like their last pick, like that was a bit of LGD's weakness, I feel. Like their scariest last picks were like Ame heroes, like
Right.
Spectre and Slark, which are strong, but it's not the same as getting hit by like a Broodmother, Meep, or Arc Warden. Like those heroes, sometimes you see them, you're like, yikes.
Yeah, everyone always talks about the importance of like a 20-second pick game winner, and like LGD went for like a Darkseer 20-second pick in their elimination game. So ultimately, you need to have that X factor at the end of the draft. It can't just all be front-loaded in the first two
And
phases.
it helps because you spoke to me earlier, like similarities, and like it's Liquid do have, like even when they won TI7, right? Like there are some similarities, except like they picked these annoying heroes very early from Matu and like deal with it, and then like we'll get something that's
Or
good
even
later.
like the GH Coddle back in the day.
Yeah,
Earthshaker as well.
Shaker as well.
And I feel like OG also they're kind of playing the same as TI8 with the how they play the safe lane, like what here's No Tail plays. Like either he tries to play something that completely gives Ana free farm. Like if you look at a lot of their especially group stage games, Ana is like far above everyone else in farm. Like he usually gets a very relevant hero to the game, and No Tail just plays this. He plays Shen or Eng, and he's just securing farm for him.
Then as someone who is very famously the position 6, you're saying that No-Tail's kind of emulating that very sacrificial role where it's all about making sure that his one position is enabled?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And yeah, and then the other, like he had to play ET last game, right? And he can kind of do the same thing, but like his own game suffers way more when you play ET because you're just running in suiciding basically.
Yeah, like at last TI, I was like Nature's Prophet, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you just play that,
different
defend
hero.
the lane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Liquid's still scared of the Invoker. Yeah, I think they banned it last game too.
They did, yeah.
OG run it in both positions. Thompson's one of like the most famous Invokers, I think, right now. And also JerAx is an Invoker player, so they have a little flex. I think it'd be a little surprising if OG would pick it as like a fuller, because I don't think it matches well with
Nah,
the
I
other
haven't
two
seen
heroes.
Liquid do that too much.
I mean, OG for like their.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So-
I don't think I've seen OG do that too much either.
Yeah, but
mainly just newbie. Your boy MSS pilot, I was rocking that 4 position Invoker like nobody's business.
And also Secret, right?
Yeah, Secret was doing it with the Apsar.
Yeah, it fell a bit out of. It's a little slow. Like, it doesn't put that much
It's
pressure.
just a group stage meme. Is that what you're telling me?
It might be. It might have been. It might have been. We'll see.
OG get their hands on the Ember TA matchup. That matchup's a lot more Ember favored now. It used to actually be TA favored in the lane. But now that you can't really deny, deal like 120 physical or pure damage
Because
this
the
Ember.
refraction got
Yeah,
nerfed.
you can't deny the creeps anymore, so the Ember can actually pressure you at level 3 and level 5.
I'm actually. This is kind of cool that the TA is coming in. Because I think it was the Epicenter Major, right? The hero was basically first pick.
Yes.
Because she has like very few losing matchups, and even the losing matchups are like, you can get to level 3, 4,
Or
you
you
can
can
just
just
jungle.
jungle, yeah.
Exactly, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what we saw in the LGD series.
Yeah, but I don't think she's supposed to be as good anymore. Like I want to see this because let's say it's Ember versus TA mid, right? Because what should be able to happen is like the Ember slightly wins the lane, and then he can just chase after her, like when she's trying to catch up.
So you want like a very high activity Ember. You don't want like a farming lawnmower build Ember that goes for like a radiance or anything like that. You want one that's constantly bothering TA, making sure she can't take ancients, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know Thompson was one of the first guys to start going like Medallion on Ember. So he goes like Medallion, I think he went Medallion Drums Deso, something along those lines.
Okay.
And he plays like in the enemy jungle the whole game and just like chains them and just chases them around.
I mean, that's just his style. Like, that's what you could see last game. Like, what stopped him? Like, his Tiny is. Got a little satisfaction from seeing them like just get shut down with what they're trying to pull. Like,
right.
Because you can see like Seb hits level 6 in the offlane, and like normal enches, they stay there and they get the tower. It can take up to 5 minutes.
Because no one can come to that lane once she has impetus.
But like it's still, she doesn't kill the tower that fast, right? But what he does, he just starts running at the enemy. Like he'll stand between the tier 2 and tier 1 mid, and like it's so, like you can't. It's so hard to do something about it because all the heroes are so low level. He's like you can maybe kill him, but like if you try to kill him and you fail, you basically lose the game.
And even if you do kill him, it takes so many resources to just take him down.
No, it's extremely. And then then like he's running around there, and then like Thompson hits like he has his timing. Like if you place Invoker Tiny, then suddenly he's in there too. But that game, like last game, he's just running over traps, running into 4 centaurs, like, and he gets stopped.
I remember like last game when the guy was doing that move. Thompson's walking into the jungle chasing one of the supports, I forget which, Rubik?
Yeah, Rubik.
Yeah, he's chasing the Rubik for like a minute.
Yeah.
Because he got trapped. And you kill the Rubik, and the camera goes to the mid tower, and there's an Ench sitting behind the mid tower, killing a tower while a Tiny is doing his own thing on the map.
Yeah. No, it's when they can run at you, like they're very frustrating to play against.
And Omni Knight are definitely a hero that can enable running at you. Still so far the only strength core that Heavenly Grace is really going to be able to buff up is the Tiny, but obviously that's a great choice, especially once the Tiny gets the Aghanim Scepter. And Liquid going to pick up a Life Stealer.
Even the Ember, though, you can stop him from getting like chain stunned by the Shadow Shaman. Gives him more HP. That's like the one thing they don't think about that much when you get Grace someone. It's 28 strength. That's still HP on every hero.
Yeah.
I mean, he's generally a very good versus Tidehunter and Shaman. Like if you repel either this Ember or whatever they're picking next, like that guy can just be in there. Like he's getting stunned for like a second max.
It's also, the Ember could be an Ana Ember. Yeah. We didn't talk about that, I think. We mostly assumed it was a Thompson Ember versus the TA.
Okay.
And now that there's a
Where would that put the Tiny, though?
4?
Oh, okay. So it would be Seb, Omni Knight off lane, safe lane Ember, 4 position Tiny, and then 5 position Grimstroke.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go like really far out there,
let's hear it.
It could be a Tiny 3 with the Grim, so he can combo with the Inkswell.
Oh.
And then they put the Omni as a 5 with the carry against the Lifestealer. And
So
the Grim would be a 4.
Oh, okay, I see.
If you want to go out there. I feel like that's
against the Lifestealer, that's a bit tricky, though.
Yeah.
Like, Inkswell combos won't be that reliable. And now Liquid being picked up. I mean, sorry, Enigma being picked up for Liquid.
Yeah. I think they're going to want to better carry than Ember this game. I don't know if we can...
Yeah, I mean, the lane for Ember here is like fine, I think.
Yeah.
Like he can do fine either. I don't know what they have up their sleeves, you know, like to get something else from mid, but...
They played, what was it, Sven, I think, first? The Lifestealer in the LGD series?
Yes.
It was kind of bad because of the Huskar, I think.
Yeah.
But they like the matchup, so I think that could be it. It's lanes well against Enigma as well. You kill his Eidolons. Monkey.
Okay, so Thompson Monkey King most likely?
Yeah.
Ana Ember, Seb as the Omni Knight, and 4 position Tiny.
I'd assume so, yeah.
And then 5 position Grimstroke. So before we go anywhere, why the Enigma though? Why did Liquid go for this Enigma pick?
I mean, I think they think kind of simple about it. They have this repel guy going in, right? And he can play like an absolute idiot. Like they just throw stuff at him and he lives. Now you have the Enigma just black holes him.
Status resistance won't help against black hole.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can't deal with that. Plus, it's like these last pick Enigmas are you already picked your supports, right? So you don't have any cancels. So it's a free black hole game.
Fair enough. Let's hear from Casey, who's talking to Saksha, team of OG.
It was a great first game. It was back and forth the whole time. Did you, in any way in this draft, are you responding to how things went? We saw that you banned Meepo, or do you think it was just luck that you didn't end up with the win with that first one?
I mean, we talked about Meepo. We knew they were picking it. We just thought we were actually okay against Meepo. Obviously, the game went it was a hard game, but we came back, so that's the positive side. Yeah, we were happy with the draft, yeah.
Still pretty confident.
With this one? Oh yeah, with this one, yeah, obviously. I know.
Duh.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck to you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Casey. Game 2 of Liquid versus OG here in the best of 5 grand finals of the International 2019, just about to kick off. What a start to the series. What are we expecting from this one, Fog? OG and Liquid coming into this game too. OG, they've been knocked back before at the beginning of a series, and we've seen what sort of a turnaround they can make as the series does unfold. Of course, the famous one being that of this same place, same time last year. Can they do it in this best of 5? Are we going to see them with this draft take a game back off Liquid, or Liquid going to keep the lead?
They've got a lot of comfortable things coming out for the side of OG, right? We have Ana on his legendary Ember Spirit. We have Thompson on his Master Tier Monkey King, of course.
Master Tier. In
a good matchup. What the players used to say was a good matchup. I know a lot of them talked about that Monkey King versus TA back when you could get the refraction with your denies. Now you have to imagine it's even better for the Monkey King. So Thompson should be able to have a good time there versus Weeha in the mid lane. This last pick, Enigma, though, very interesting one. I loved what they mentioned on the panel there. I think Pi was the one who said it, how Heavenly Grace makes it really hard for you to set up for kills, but Black Hole cannot be produced because that status just does not work. And there's no cancels, of course, on the side of OG through that BKB that will be coming up for the Enigma eventually in this game, as Miracle leads quite a bit of harassment you see there.
You've certainly got to watch out for what GH is going to be able to bring to the game. But overall, Liquid, once again, now having this TA, having sort of a obviously this time the Weeha TA, we're going to see it in a bit of a different capacity, but they've got still this sort of similar idea, right? This whole fight that can go down with the control that Mind Control and GH can offer that will just give the time and space for Miracle and Weeha to just disassemble their opponents.
Yeah. It's all about the team fights really coming into play when you start getting toward these later stage games of TI. And we see right away. So a lot of the times we've been seeing the Enigmas, they start in the Radiant jungle. This time he's Radiant, so it's a lot more natural for him. So we see GeForce, he puts a ward inside of the jungle to block one of those camps in that triangle area down in the Radiant jungle, but it actually was spotted. Liquid had already prepared down here with this ops ward to see everything that's going to be happening. They actually know that that camp is warded, so GH is probably going to stay playing up top for the time being. And just keep denying creep says.
Talk about up top. They got the shackle set up, mind control, chasing N0tail down, will be able to get back underneath the tower. In fact, Anna's going to turn, chase their mind control, and they'll get first blood, OG. As Liquid try and force the issue a little too hard between the two of them up top. Giving first blood to the safe lane, Ember Spirit.
And they had a salve. That was the thing, right? Grimstroke turns, N0tail, he doesn't die. He salves up, he's back up to full. And this is the one thing about when you go for the gush on the Tide is you're trying to set up for those kills, but you're a lot more vulnerable. He has a stout shield, but Ember Spirit he can hit pretty hard. Same thing with the Grimstroke. They can easily turn.
Down in the bottom lane, Miracle. It's going to be farming up against the Seb Omni Knight with that backup of GeForce at his side. Obviously with GH being in the jungle up the top, it is going to be Miracle entirely on his own for the most part.
He'll get pressured a bit down here just from those toss-back plays. He should be able to catch up decently, but the thing is that Omni Knight does pack a decent punch as well onto that lifestealer himself. GeForce is just going to keep being annoying too. This is multiple mangoes. Another right click, another toss-back, quick heal probably. Actually held on to it this time. We'll see what itemization that Seb does. I think an Orb of Venom proves to have an incredible amount of value, actually, in the bottom lane, because then you can leave the Omni Knight a bit, and then he can actually right-click and trade with the Lifestealer. So I definitely want to see Seb go for picking that one up, because I think he actually did just buy it, so he will be able to put the pressure onto Lifestealer, just give him that extra right-click, because your Rage is not really an element that you have to worry about when you're going to be pressuring.
We'll see Kuro down here now to just offer some sort of way of alleviating the pressure of these two heroes, keep the distraction high so that GeForce isn't able to stay in the lane, beating down and tossing back Miracle safe lane lifestealing.
Yep. So we see mid starting to get to that advantage for the Monkey King, constantly getting those Jingu stacks up again onto Weeha, and then you can just secure yourself all these denies.
It's a tough lane for Weeha.
Yeah. But he'll back up in jungle, as Panel mentioned, as you've seen, especially in the earlier series of the day.
He's always going to be able to catch up.
Yeah. Still jungles incredibly efficiently.
Yeah, we've seen him do it many times. You know, his TA really that he's been able to bring out a lot of the times for Liquid, as it seems on the main stage, has always been pretty darn good.
Seb getting turned on there by Miracle. But we'll have the sustain. And now the Orb of Venom is delivered, and this is where he can start to actually push Miracle off of the lane with GeForce.
GeForce again.
Looks for the combo.
Another combo.
Doesn't actually choose for the toss back there.
Miracle was, out of regen and open wounds have been used, but could have potentially have been a kill. Top lane Anna, he's actually going to turn, sort of baiting mind control. Look how low he's standing. He's got a sleight of fist, keeping himself out of range of the anchor smash. Anna just dancing himself perfectly around the Tide. The flame guard will end, so it won't be quite enough to take mind control down immediately, but you've got to imagine there's going to be another sleight fist available. Mind control just salve up in the trees. Another stroke hits, but that salve will make sure that the sleight of fist from Anna won't quite kill him off. Still, though, he's out of regen now, mind control, so will be bullied out of the top lane.
Thompson's really starting to take advantage of this mid lane. He even uses the glyph under the tower, and Weeha's just forced to sit and meld, healing up with the salve. Thompson's really taking over. He loves this matchup. Another thing that this hero provides you is you can dive and chase the TA, but now GH shows up.
GH from the trees, Thompson, he didn't expect this. He's trying to use the mischief to play it out. He's looking for that forcing. Cannot get the boundless strike off, though. Great move from GH. Catches Thompson off guard. He knows that Thompson, as you say, is going to play like this. He's looking for these dives, these plays around the tier 1 towers. GH is prepared.
Super clutch. Weeha's definitely better give him like a big hug or something after that play. As he'll be able to go back and continue to jungle as he gets an Arcane Rune on GH, and he's actually saving gold. You see he's queued up, he's got the gloves. He's got the Dominator in his quick buy, but I think he might be contemplating a Midas.
He's thinking about it. I won't be surprised we're at 4.5 minutes in and being that close to it.
Yeah, especially after setting up for that kill. We will see Thompson go right back to the mid lane, though, and we'll be able to continue pressuring Weeha quite easily as that Monkey King with the matchup.
And just certainly have to be aware of the potential of GH maybe coming across again. Obviously, with that ward that OG do have down that they placed earlier in the jungle, they'll see any movements from that kind of angle. GH going to start to have a bit of a poke on the GH, trying to go for the shackles, but with the avalanche already out, GH will not be held down.
Looks like it won't be the Midas. He buys boots, buys clarities. He's just going to jungle. And looks like he wants to actually move around and make plays because he's got the points in the Malefice already. Maybe he wants to just be more active around the map and be able to respond to the aggression that he knows that OG's going to do, right? You know how OG's going to play. You know Thompson is going to do well in the laning phase, and then he's just going to run around and try to set up kills all over the place. So being able to respond quickly, that looks like it's going to be the approach for GH.
And he's got relatively good cores to do it around, right?
Yes.
Other cores that offer in Weeha's case a good bit of damage. So down bottom, Miracle's case, that extra bit of slow and disable. Mid lane, Thompson, look at the balance up. We are trying to commit. There's the wraparound. JerAx comes in with the gank, tosses back. We are, as he tries to go in for that kill attempt, will not get away with it. OG able to easily turn it around with the 3 at the mid. See the wait for the 6-minute runes. OG, again, you see how much they prioritize those power runes early on. JerAx is going to be the one that's able to grab a haste rune. Level 3, so has got the levels to try and make a bit of a play onto Kuro. Diving him underneath the tower. Kuro, he'll stand with the shackles. Another blast, but JerAx just has the combo damage, bring him down. Stick charges from Kuro. Actually keep him alive, and now the haste rune is worn out, and Miracle, he's in for the free kill.
He did not do the math. Kuroki did, though.
See
Ana, though, top.
Both carries getting a bit of action. Top lane, Ana and Notel able to set up for another kill for that safe lane. Ember getting in behind the tier 1 towers. Well, there's 3 points in the Sleight of Fist. Now with the 6, the Remnants as well. He hurts. Yep. It's a dangerous lane for Mind Control to return to.
And they really love playing this Grimstroke combo with these melee heroes that can quickly get on top of targets with that high-level ink swell. We'll probably still see an early level Phantom's Embrace, because I think that's another reason why they picked it versus the Tide.
Heading in GH.
So annoying, but Ana should be okay. He's got the Remnants like you were talking about.
GH not quite with the mana at all to offer a Black Hole follow-up. JerAx.
Keep tabs of Weehaw, don't let him just really jungle. As I feel like every time we've seen Weehaw actually playing as this Templar Assassin, he gets away with murder in the jungle. He just sits there farming it over and over again and doesn't get pressured. OG is not going to give him that option. 3 cores of OG are farming very well. As to be expected, you're playing versus an Enigma draft. That's kind of, if you're not doing well in the early game, you're not doing well in the laning phase, you're in a big amount of trouble. So they are quite ahead there. And Mind Control is starting to get punished quite a lot up top, as we saw from Ana, as well as Grimstroke of No Tail.
I love the scan from Liquid that does reveal that No Tail's hunting behind the tier 1. Heading over towards the direction of GH. He's going to look to get another ancient stack going. Didn't quite manage to make it happen there.
Oh, Notel blocked it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
so they're sitting on just the edge of the square, Notel.
Yep. As top though, Ana, he's just looking to keep pressuring onto Mind Control here, but Mind Control will be able to step away.
Notel does want to try and go for this with Mind Control being as low as he is. Cannot close the gap with the ink swell. Oh, that's a beautiful Black Hole. G8 just casually stands in position. He didn't even have to move for it. As they're just both sat down, Ana's trying his best to get away with the Remnant now. He will be able to escape. As that nearly was a huge disaster for OG losing 2. They're lucky that Ana was able to get out of there.
They're lucky that JerAx was close enough to get an avalanche there, otherwise very likely to die.
He would have been dead. He really would have, but as it is, Ana lives. Only Notel.
And when he comes back, he can full heal JerAx as well. So they can look to make an aggressive play up here.
I mean, yeah, they're immediately back over. Now they know they can be extra aggressive, right? There's no Black Hole.
Yeah. Very important that Ana survives there. But great, I mean, GH so far in this game, as an Enigma who's jungling, able to put so much pressure on the map.
His positioning has always been where he would ideally be.
Yeah.
Where his team needs him to be standing, GH is there to ready to hold their hands.
He's got that Dominator build finished. So we will have that creep always running around, probably just stacking camps for the early game and then going to start looking to set up kills, because it is a Centaur Conqueror, so it is one of the better ones to actually set up for those ganks. As mid, they really want to sandwich on Kuroki.
Straight in, Kuro is going to have to charge the turn upon the shackles. They're doing their best to keep Ana alive. Big swell buffs up, and there's the start connecting on a GH. They're ready to die for more. Thompson straight down behind the tower, jumping forward, looking for GH. Stuff for the Centaur Conqueror with the helmet of the Dominator. He's keeping GH finally falling as Thompson gets him. Weeha's now turned towards OG. They managed to take away 2. They'll continue to chase. They will lose Notel, but Thompson's back over. Barrel is straight down. They'll surround the TA. Weeha surely will fall. No, they don't have detection. He's got the meld. He'll stay hidden. They'll go for Kuro instead. Miracle trying to chase for more. Another stun indeed from the Centaur Conqueror. The Micro making it real, but Miracle still has to be careful. The Rage is finished and Anna's Flame Guard still persists as they'll chase into the trees. Thompson's got the lockdown, Boundless strikes out, Miracle will fall, OG.
The 3 core is just running around as a unit right now for OG, looking to kill everybody on Liquid. Look at the map right now.
I mean, they're thinking about going
Look
for
at
more.
the lanes. The lanes are all open, they're just battling.
He's able to chop the tree down, mind control. Quick with the lumberjack plays. Gonna see if he can try and Ravage does get the 3 of them. Seb's getting burst slower, heals out in time. We Are comes across. Hex lockdown's there for Kuro. They'll get Thompson. Liquid, can they punish OG even more for diving into this? The X-Well, Slider Fist again. Mind control, he's stunned up. The Flame Guard, the Slider Fist damage is too much for them this early on. Kuro moves off the wall. He's got the shackles. He's holding him down. Hex is out as well. Kuro finishes off Anna all by his own. And We Are get Seb as well. OG, all 5 out of the game as Liquid say, get out of our half of the map.
10 minutes in, and we have 10 heroes duking it out over the ancient area.
That's what we want to see.
There's farm in every lane. Bounty runes are spawning. I think every single game that we see, it's like, guys, bounty runes. Every team starts running over to bounty runes at those 5 minutes. Not this game. These teams are just bringing the battle to each other.
And I think that this is why these teams were so excited to face each other in the grand finals. You know that Kuro and Notel, they wouldn't have it any other way than to meet face to face in the best of 5 grand finals.
I feel like we hear the teams talk about this a lot when they get to the later stages. They're like, I want to play versus this team. And they're like, why do you want to play versus this team? And it's like, because they like to just fight, and we like to fight, and that's what makes Dota fun.
I mean, OG's already eyeing up the chance to get back over.
It's constant. GH.
They're diving. Chains are there. 7 Notel with the back of GH. He is going to struggle to hold them off. We'll get a Midnight Pulse down, but the Purification Burst from Sebs is enough to bring him low enough. Notel getting the finishing blow. As OG, as soon as Liquid kill them all and get them back over to the base, they are straight back over, keeping the pressure on. We'll see here, fantastic turnaround from Liquid with that Ravage, and then of course that beautiful ending. Kuro able to get that kill on Anna, all on his own.
And all little things too, right? That fruit, even the Dark Troll Summoner that GH controls, and he gets the net onto the Omni Knight, he can't actually get into Heavenly Grace and protect targets. So
GH,
every little thing matters.
This Helm of Dominator, I don't think I've seen anyone use it as well as GH has been able to in these first 12 minutes.
Yeah.
The Micro has been absolutely on point. We're 9-9, less than a 1K difference at just under 13 minutes in between OG and Liquid in this game too.
You can feel the way that OG's playing is that they want to punish the greed. Liquid went for greed. They've got Midas on the life stealer. They have an Enigma in their draft. OG wants to just keep this battle running at them, which is very OG-like. They just want to fight.
She's gonna have vision with the rest of this water. Thompson set up perfect from the trees. Wukong's command down. Boundless strike already used. It doesn't matter. He's able to jump forward, look to chase Miracle. Miracle does get the jukes off. Now it's the movement speed with the phase boost. He'll get himself out across the trees. They'll still try and chase. Thompson, Boundless still unavailable for 6 seconds. So Miracle will actually be able to escape. GH, he comes forward. He starts to have a bit of a punt. Stuns out, but Anna, he's in with a wraparound. Chains around. Boundless strike back up. Slam down onto the Enigma. GH is gone. They're diving up towards tier 3's OG. They're in the base. They get mind control as well. There's still every single tower up in the mid lane. But OG, they're taking the fight to the base.
Dude, look at this. Look at this. All the lanes are open. All they want to do is battle. Weeha's well gonna get caught out. This is ridiculous. And now they're gonna say, okay, now they're prioritizing. They're like, all right, now we've sandwiched up to a tower. Now we can go for this one.
Oh, yeah, hey, does anyone else want to take a tower? Yeah, go on then, Seb. Yeah, let's go on then. We'll take some of these objectives. We can hold back on the killing for a little bit. 13-9, OG able to break a little bit ahead there with that play.
I don't think I've ever seen something like this in a game, though. Where
and in a grand finals of TI.
Exactly. They're literally just ignoring lanes. They're open for heroes to farm. But who cares about farm? Look at this. The 3 cores of OG, they see Lifesteal on the map. All 3 of them immediately run to bottom. They're like, get him.
It shows.
He has to hide.
They want to collapse. Rage in a TP will do it. Nowhere to hold him down. Miracle's out of the neighborhood.
And they'll set up for this tower now.
I guess there's no kills to be had around here. We've got to take the tower. So yeah, Anna will reluctantly take it.
But they're going to battle top. They see mind control for a second.
All right, here we go.
A kill has been spotted.
Let's have a look. Ravage is available as well as the black hole as GH gets over. Toss back underneath the tower. Mind control starts with the anchor smash. Thompson, he's already got the Jingu built up. Avalanche control and mind control causing issues. He needs the rest of his team to get it. They're not going to come. Mind control's going to be left for dead.
my God, just relentless. Just relentless running at them. They're really trying to punish the green. I think that's the biggest thing to point out here is that OG, they do not want to give any type of low period. When you look at Liquid's draft, it's a slow-paced draft that's based off of cooldowns. They don't want Weeha to be able to get away with murder like we were talking about earlier about going to the jungle and just farming. No mercy. As another tower, they'll find this one here because they're in this lane looking for kills. So another tier 1, but it gets denied.
Good play there from Notel. Gets the silence out before a Rage is available. Stopping Miracle from being able to commit through the stun.
Phantom's Embrace could catch a lot of things off guard here on the Liquid's draft, like we mentioned, versus the Tidehunter especially too. That Kraken Shell can be very annoying to play against if you're versus Phantom's Embrace. Just constantly applying that silence on yourself.
I need that Dessa done on Weeha. Yeah. Then you know, it becomes a little scarier to keep this aggression up, and until that point, OG, they're going to move forward, but GH from the tree line, Black Hole's down as well as the Serpentwood. Serp will be able to offer up the GA, but Mind Control's Ravage caps the two of them. They've got the lockdown, Shackles around, Thompson surrounded, they'll turn with the Boundless Strike, but the four of them will kill him off. Anna's going to jump in. They want to try and make sure they can find the trades. Who can they get? Inkswell starting connection on the Mind Control. They're on top of them, burning him down with the Flame Guard, but Liquid, they're holding themselves close to the wards, saying, you can come, OG, but OG, they won't fall for that trap. They won't force the fight any further. They've lost Thompson.
That was 3 ultis for Thompson, though. That's Black Hole.
I mean, it is Thompson.
Serpent Wards.
He's quite a high-value play.
That's very true. But the location where they get it right, you can tell that OG, they're the ones dictating the pace, forcing reaction after reaction after reaction by Liquid. Forcing them to use literally triple ultimates to kill their mid laner because they have that Omnight behind him.
Now we're doing Deso for Weeha, 100 gold away.
He's getting the space. His team is trying to fight back, giving Weeha some time to get that item that he really needs in this game.
For Miracle, needs that armlet done after the Midas. Then you have 2 cores that you really have to be careful about diving upon as OG.
Mind Control, he's been spotted. They want him.
Found him alone. As again, Thompson and Jerax able to find these quick and easy pickoffs. Kuro's going for the TP out. Anna has not got any disable backup to hold him down. So Kuro will escape. But Thompson, as soon as he's taken out of the game on the top lane, he is straight back in and he's killing people already.
Yep. It's non-stop, and they even smoke. Look at this. He kills bottom, the line is drawn.
They just want to go, go, go. This is a beautiful pace that OG's bringing out here in game 2. They have the 3K lead. They'll know that they're around.
Take out the Ops Ward as well. Thompson will kill it.
But there aren't those big ults, as you mentioned, straight in towards the tier 2 tower. Anna has no fear as he collapses immediately on top of the TA. Weeha surrounded. The control that Notel offers is too much for Weeha to withstand at the moment. Jump forward, over towards Kuro. Anna just loving the pace that he can play with Thompson by his side, running down hero after hero as OG just keep the kills a-coming.
They're just moving too fast. The pace that they're setting is just too quick for Liquid to respond right now. Mind Control is being, look at Mind Control's net worth. I don't think I've seen that almost ever. He is bottom 3 net worth.
Bottom 3, bottom of the sea.
166.
He's got to try and get himself up to some shallower waters. As he's got a big recovery to do. Sure, we've seen he can still make very impactful plays with the Ravage alone at the moment.
That's too fast of a pace though still. OG, if they have anyone, like if they have their cores together, which they've pretty much been doing all the time, it's so hard to bring them down. We see how hard Heavenly Grace counters all of these disables that do come out.
A Miracle will be able to get away with this play every time. Rage CP, nothing to stop it.
Liquid's trying to find any type of place to farm in very unexpected places. Look at where Mind Control is right now, and look at where GH is.
Oh.
This is them just being like, OG seems to just know where we are on our side. Let's take the farm from their side.
That's the thing, right? They know that OG is it's just looking for fights. Look at it. Yep. They're fighting up towards tier 3s. This is literally where OG doesn't want to be. They don't want to be on their half of the map. That's defensive, slow, and boring. So that does give this space. And Liquid's starting to make a bit of use of it. OG into the pit is spotted out by the Weeha trap.
Yep.
Can they do anything with it? They've got Black Hole and they've got the Ravage.
Yep, they've got their ultis available. OG, they have their Guardian Angel as well, but Seb is relatively low on mana. They stop the rush and they're like, oh, heroes have been spotted. Go for the fight. Miracle is in the mid lane.
They're going to go for jump on Miracle. Instant rage and a back off. Still, they managed to sandwich them. If Liquid can get the Tide and the Enigma in, they could go for a good fight from the low ground. Kuro,
Miracle
disabled. He traps up Notel in the Serpent Wars. Miracle's the focus. Miracle will fall. They're walking over Mind Control. Tries to get around the gun, but he can't. Boundless strikes out. And Phantom's embraced again. Notel stopping Mind Control from being able to offer the Ravage, but now out, and Anna and Thompson, they're still good to go. Dust is out. They've got the detection prepared. Weehar's left behind. They've taken both cores. They're going to get the third as well by the looks of it. It's OG. They jump over, catch out mind control, and they'll also toss back in GH as OG. They just keep killing every single member of Liquid over and over again. They're playing the fights perfectly.
The execution of these fights is absurd right now.
It doesn't get any better than this from OG.
It's 31 kills at the 21-minute mark. They're just, sorry, at the 20-minute mark, they're running around, bounty rune spawn. They just kind of fake that Roche a little bit. They know. They're like, oh, there's a TA trap in here. They have to know that they're versing a TA, and they have to know there's traps in there. And then they just bring the fight. As soon as Liquid shows a member, they don't care. They get the boundless strike when it looks like Mind Control's trying to get a perfect Ravage, and then he gets silenced, and from there, the fight gets so hard.
He knows exactly. A bug on Mind Control, bam. Yep. They cannot do anything. You saw GH moving as well. If Mind Control gets that Ravage off GH, he's able to get in with the Black Hole. Maybe they limit the casualties. Maybe they're able to at least bring someone down with them from OG, but it's not the case. OG using every spell in the right order and on the right target.
Yep, and they're itemizing really well now, too. We see Seb, he went for the Medallion early on into a Vlad's. And what are we looking at on the side of Liquid? It's pretty much, I mean, they have magical damage too, but the Templar Assassin is really the one that's going to be dealing all that damage on their lineup, and he's going to have a much harder time versus a Solar and Vlad's on being thrown on the target that he's focusing.
And again, sort of the chaos of these fights, you know, sure, it's sort of been a group effort, but look how well they're able to prioritize their main man, Anna. He's only died the once in all of these engagements. He's 7, 1, and 11. So despite the fact that sometimes you'll see Thompson fall, they're throwing bodies in, they're getting so much done that Anna is able to benefit off.
And it's not like Thompson's not farmed. He's actually ahead of Anna in the farm here. He has a Radiance with the Echo Saber already finished.
Excuse me?
Versus a TA. This is a Radiance versus TA so early on. This evasion,
21 minutes in
of the Radiance onto that refraction as well, it's going to prove to be super problematic. And even versus Blink Daggers, that's the other thing that we know that Thompson, why he really likes Radiance, is when you throw down your Wukong's command, all of your individual monkeys get the Radiance applied in that AoE, so getting Blink Daggers and blinking and ravaging and causing chaos is near impossible.
You cannot escape it. You need the BKB and Blinks if you want to try and make a jump, and even then, you're still going to be slowed down in the way that you had to commit with them.
Yep.
As Roshan, OG's in the pit, no chance of Liquid heading over. As Anna will claim the Aegis. With 3k gold towards the next item.
Mind Control hide. They saw him for a second.
He's got a TP. They've obviously got ways to cancel it, OG. I don't think.
Oh, he's framed him already.
Mind Control's getting out of this one. He shows himself, they get a glimpse of him. And it's just more and more gold and glory for OG. 22 and 10, 22 minutes in. This is the OG you expect to see after they go down a game in game one. They are relentless with the pressure that they're applying.
No mercy. You pick a greedy draft versus them, you know that this is the way that they're going to play. Just running around looking for non-stop plays, especially when they have Thompson on Monkey King and Anna and Ember. These are just incredibly fast-paced.
Miracles. It's been found again. They get the combo in. He's not able to get the rage off. The Phantom Embrace from Notel, along with that combo, leaves no chance for Miracle to get out of there. And now they can start looking for some towers. It's got to that point again when OG said, all right, we've done enough killing. Let's get some more objectives. Tier 2 tower in the middle lane will be taken. Weehar's doing his best. They keep that top lane pushed out. Has the blink of the Deso, so can try for these plays. Bottom lane, GH and Mind Control. They're eyeing up Thompson.
But he's got Seb. And then, oh, look, Heavenly Grace. 2,500 health Monkey King walking around. No fear in the world at all as Weehar.
I mean, Blink's already there. He's in position. That's going to allow Thompson to close the gap. And we are.
There's Radiance.
They do not have detection, but he is slowly burning.
They've got another toss as well.
Oh. This is, burnt to pieces.
This is
burnt to smithereens.
Is out of control by OG right now.
That's a painful way to go. As OG, you can feel the magic that they're bringing right now. This is what has brought them to this point in the tournament. This is why they are your defending champions. If they turn it up, if they hit this right sort of pattern of plays.
And look at this Mind Control. He wants something.
It just
anything.
Stop. OG are making this game 2 hurt for Liquid. This is painful right now.
This is just the beautiful. Look at the damage coming out from the cores.
To have that much damage
Just
to hear it
them.
at 24 minutes in. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Just keeping all the aggressive moves, like you said. Liquid, they were trying to even move the Enigma, move the Tidehunter out onto the OG side of the map, but OG's like, no, we're gonna keep all the aggression onto Liquid side. Don't let them get any breathing room in this game. Put down deep aggressive wards, and just keep running at them. Don't let Miracle get this Radiance online. He's almost got it though. That's the one thing. Miracle has his phase, has the Midas, has the armlet, and will soon have that Rad. But the rest of his teammates are so far behind. And a TA, when you're playing from behind like this, is incredibly difficult when you're versus these natural targets.
He cannot show his face in the fights, Weeha.
And remember, when they open with TA, you're setting yourself up to this. OG, they like triple down to make sure they have things to do with him. Omni Knight is an incredibly good hero versus TA at all stages of the game. JerAx, he's already prepared bottom, waiting for the next kill to set up.
They
already got TPs coming.
In come the TPs. JerAx, he's in with the setup. They'll still get the blink off. Did have enough charges left on Refraction to get it out, and he's going for the TP away. They will not catch him. So this time Weeha will get himself away from this terrifying squad from OG that is just moving from lane to lane. You cannot show your face without the expectation of 3 heroes immediately collapsing on you. Mana. Got the vision here as they'll get in with the setup. Kuro tries his luck, tries to get out, doing the warning for the team. JerAx has also found mind control. Anna's still diving in towards the base as Weeha.
He got Thompson's tree.
Weeha tries to turn with the meld here. Thompson's there with the boundless strike. Weeha is just dying inside the base.
This mobility is, it's just absurd. Ember's Bird and Monkey King, they're everywhere. You cannot set up anywhere on the map. They just get across the map too quickly.
I feel like we're just saying that you cannot let OG have these two cores together. They just play off each other so perfectly. The timings that these heroes hit, they're just on top of you at the same point of the game, and it just doesn't slow down.
Yeah. Bit of a timing window here for Liquid. Oh my god, Miracle. Dropping solo. They've got Blink Dagger on the Tidehunter now. But JerAx actually, I believe, countered. Yeah, I think he counseled his TP. Up top, Mind Control can't get back to base.
He cannot.
Chased around. And now Thompson's cutting off the escape route as well already.
There's no tide for the defense. As he can run, he could deal with the creep wave, but he's not going to be able to head back and help out if a fight does kick off in the middle. As they'll find him, they'll chase him. Monster kill for Thompson.
Oh my god.
It's incredible to see how hard OG is punching back after that game 1 loss.
They're really just giving no room to Liquid at all. No room in the map, just constant mobility, constant running around, constant fighting. And Miracle, like we said, he's kind of farmed. They have the BKB on the Enigma as well with that blink on the Tidehunter. But OG, they have a 15,000 gold lead, a 20,000 experience lead, and they have given, what? I think they've only given OG 1 or 2 towers in the last 10 minutes and no kills.
It's a full Scardy on Thompson. At 20 minutes in. This game, I think it is entirely on GH and Mind Control to make some incredible 5-man play. That's the only way right now.
That is really how it feels. And they have the BKB Black Hole, which is not counterable from OG, at least with the stun. But OG's tanky.
Yeah.
And getting into them as well, right? If they have the Wukongs down, lay down, he's gonna die if he gets that Black Hole off.
He will.
And now also, they've got a better way to heal each other and help each other. There's an Aghanims on Seb. So that Guardian Angel is going to provide that massive amount of HP regen as well as that protection from wherever he's going to be to pop it off. I don't think they're going to have the damage to do with OG at all.
Miracle trying to push into Thompson, but with the items that Thompson has and the burst that he does, Soulbind's out. They're going to try and jump forward. The Wukong's come on. It's now Mind Control off the Rabbit. The GH's already out. They've got the Black Hole. GH falls those. He's stuck inside the Wukong. 3 dead on Liquid. OG just beating them down one by one. The buybacks will come out from both Kuro and Miracle. But both GH and Mind Control are gone without their ultimates and without buyback. The game continues to worsen for Liquid as OG past the racks on top of Miracle, tossing him back into the boundless. Triple kill for Thompson.
Wow.
As OG, this entire game has been a highlight reel for them. He gets something. It's a lot of money, of course, Anna. So that's a little bit of glory for Liquid.
Oh, JerAx, it will go down, maybe. No, the heal they give the Rampage to Thompson.
Extra bit of salt in the wounds there. as they're holding on.
They're going to give them the respect, though. They're going to back up.
Well, I feel like OG doesn't mind. They're enjoying this. They're loving this. They don't want this to end. They want to keep playing. They've got such a lead on all 3 cores that you know right now in the booth, OG are really enjoying themselves right now.
Oh, especially Thompson. 16, 3, and 14. Part of 30 of the 35 kills on this Monkey King. That is insane in this type of game on the finals of TI.
E-Blade on Jerax. Everybody's getting their items on OG.
Yep. Some luxury ones, of course, but
yep.
just not letting Liquid get anything. They have a Templar Assassin who is at 11,000 net worth at 30 minutes. You don't hear that very often. Usually when you hear a TA at 30 minutes, he's going to be peaking at the 18, 15,000, 17,000 gold marks, maybe even higher than that. OG just not allowing Liquid to play with this draft at all. They're sandwiching and closing the map off even more, picking up those more luxury items and Aghanims now, of course, for Ana too, so he can just be even more mobile. And there's no black hole for 60. Ravage is up at 30. OG, let's walk up to this high ground. And another Aghanims, of course, too, for Thompson. Liquid can't fight it. They are just far too strong on OG right now.
Their only hope is with the Black Hole and a Ravage, and we saw even last time, it was exactly as you said it would. If Wukong's command is down, BKB Black Hole is not going to last long enough, and even if it did, they just do not have the damage right now to kill these heroes.
They're too tanky, and like I said, to Seb, right? Seb in the back line, just here to go to heal everybody with that Guardian Angel.
It's already trying to pull the wave away from mid, but they're chasing.
They saw we hot. He doesn't have BKB.
Jerax is over. There's the E-Blade combo coming out. A GH to celebrate as the fight continues down bottom, making sure that N0tail doesn't go down. The two of them soul-bound together. Anna's in with the change. Boundless strikes down on a Miracle. Miracle cannot get out of this one alive. He's dead without buyback. Mind control as well. The chase never ends from OG.
You have to imagine they tap out of this one pretty soon as OG. 31,000 gold lead. So many different items picked up. They're cleaning up the last racks. A Dagon even picked up from N0tail.
He's popped the BKB. He's going to go for the black hole on the two of them. Does hit the pulse down. In fact, gets Anna as well with the wraparound. But they just don't take any damage at all. GG is called. The suffering will finally come to an end for Liquid in this game too, as OG take the victory 1-1 now in this best-of-5 grand finals. And Liquid, well, they've got to be feeling pretty shaken up after that game. OG coming into this game too, showing why they are the defending champions from last year. This is one of the most dominant games we've had in a grand finals. Nothing at all went Liquid's way in that match.
It's crazy how much Thompson and Ana were able to do. Even Seb too, right? He was running around. We saw the 3 cores from OG literally just running around from lane to lane to lane, killing anybody that showed their face on Liquid. Mind Control ended this game 1-12-6. They didn't ever let him even try to recover in this one. They didn't let Weeha recover at all either. They just did not let anybody on the side of Liquid even get to play the game with Dota 2.
What a game. What a game too. And ladies and gentlemen, as I say, with that, the series now tied 1-1. Liquid, they've got to do some serious revising to come into game 3 with something totally different, as this game 2, they got dismantled.
They got dismantled for sure. Thank you, ODPixel and Fogged. And I'm sure that Tsunami, Pilot Eye, and Febby can tell us a little bit about why Liquid was slaughtered like that.
Yeah, you can call me Envy because I had to kick Gunner. But Pi, I wanted to ask you, you had questions about the TA versus Ember matchup. You were skeptical, like, is this really a first phase caliber pick? And it seems like OG are proving that it's not.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even end up laning against each other. Like, it seems like there is a lot of picks that can go mid against TA now. And then, like, you know, they push the tempo, right? Like, the TA wants to go farm, and they chase her, or they kill all the other lanes. Like, you can call it mid, like, mid is leaking. Because, like, that guy you just lane against, he's just killing everyone on the map.
Wait, what was the phrase?
It's leaking.
Leaking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Spilling over.
And then even like the combat is spilling over. Febby, it doesn't seem like, am I crazy, or are we just seeing like a lot more teams, but you're kind of shrinking there, Pi?
Yeah, I'm feeling
I'll join you down there. It seems like there's a lot more combat than usual going on at this TI. Am I crazy, or are we seeing like a ton of team fights?
Yeah, so I mentioned how in the meta shifts like twice in TI. It especially shifts in grand finals, especially. if you compare group stage and main stage games, in main stage you will notice there's a lot more team fight. It's because teams don't want to lose anyone. Like they want to play more like a team, less efficiency, like more like a team. So that's why like that kind of stuff works. OG just ran down mid at like 10 to 15 minutes. Enigma, no black hole, Tide, no ravage. If you're in group stage, you will just like let the other team run down mid. Like they're not gonna get any kill, just farm off 2 side lanes. But I think Liquid kind of like wanted to not lose anyone, so like you could see that kind of skirmish going on, even if there was no black hole, no ravage. I think that's what happened. Like teams want to like play like a team. They don't want to lose anyone.
Yeah, it's a product of just the pressure of the environment, or like, are you trying to get the crowd on your side? You know, you hit a big black hole, everyone's going wild, that kind of thing. You want to get the crowd on your side, or you just like, if I lose a hero, like that's not good. I'm not playing my game then.
Yeah, so like playing at TI is definitely pressure. Playing in main stage is definitely pressure too because of the crowd. Grand finals is more pressure because of like the title, the championship title is on the line. So what OG tried to do with that Monkey King Ember pick against the Tide Enigma, those 2 heroes have very long cooldowns. So they just wanted to run at them over and over again. Even with no tower hitters, it worked because they reacted. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. The Dota doesn't make sense, but it worked because of how tight and confidently they just like ran over them.
I mean, there's also this thing how OG plays in general, where they kind of ignore that towers exist. And like they play as if they didn't exist, so they play behind the towers and they fight you. So like I looked, there was like 5-6 minutes, and OG were winning every lane, and like you just know then that like you're in for people running at you, like they're just stampeding across the map, and yeah, you like it's so hard to play against because you have to pick the perfect battles, right, and then like you avoid them, but you get sucked into like a mediocre one, you waste a spell, and like they just keep coming.
They knew where they ran to too. They kept running down around mid, so TA couldn't farm at all.
Yep.
So I think that was very good too.
Do you think that also controlled the itemization? Because Topson Monkey King ended up building a INTERCEPTOR, and that is something that I have not seen particularly frequently. We haven't really seen Monkey King that frequently. Do you think that it's like it's the brawling kind of build? You think he was just joking around? It was a comfort thing?
Radiance Aghanim is a kind of like a staple build too.
Oh, so Aghanim is coming into favor then?
Yeah, especially with Radiance.
Yeah.
Fair enough then.
A solid item.
Yeah, it gives you stats, gives you like, you don't have to get BKB, makes your hero very strong.
Solid item, and I guess pretty solid hero in the hands of Topson for sure, but pass it on back to the main panel for right now.
Thank you, and I think you were right there too. Topson did make it as the MVP, and by a long shot as well. I'm here with Gods and Grant and Lacoste. 42,000 votes for Topson. Gods.
I mean, sorry.
Oh.
God.
Go on.
The voice of gods.
Yes.
So, yeah, Topson definitely deserved it. His aggressiveness early on. I mean, the whole team is playing so aggressive Dota. They're diving tier 3 towers when there's all tier 1 towers alive in the game. That's just insane to me. The amount of the pressure they put on playing around these big ulti cooldowns from Enigma and Tidehunter, it's just beautiful to watch. I don't know if you can pick a late game against them because they're just going to run over you.
At least not that much late game. They had all of these big long cooldowns they're trying to play around, and meanwhile there's Ember, Monkey King, heroes that are always ready to fight. Ana was absolutely everywhere. Topson was everywhere. Seb was coming to all the fights. They were just go, go, go.
They really were. And Ana, I feel like he's also playing the mental game a little bit. We actually have some footage about what Ana does to try and get into the heads of his enemies. Heads of his enemies.
No, there's one thing that you did that triggered me. Not triggered. Trigger is a hard word. It's more like you could do better. You could do better. It was TI7 when you were saying that. Oh my God, I always remember, man. We had so little confidence, and then you were like, "Are we only gonna play Alchemist?" And it's like one day before we go into the tournament. Do we only have one strat with Alchemist? Because I think it sucks. Yeah. That was it. And that was it. And then I'm like, but Ana, like, what do you think? Like, you like Ember? No. Not good dispatch. Invoker? No.
I'm pretty sure every person in that car, except the driver, went like,
We're
at the same time.
Wait, what?
It's like just looking straight like
we looked at each other and
lost.
we're like, we fucking lost, man. When was it? In the car?
The car to TI.
Oh.
The atmosphere in the car was like morning going to the airport kind of atmosphere, and then you hear this and it's like pretty fucking serious because we had 3 strats, like Invoker, Alchemist, and something else. I was like,
we have only 1 strat because it's really bad. And this is your Alchemist player, you know, like everything relies on him. Okay, ready for a good one, boys.
To be honest, if you only have 1 strat, that's perfectly fine if you're just able to win with it all the time.
I thought they had 1 strat and it's fluking, Shiver.
I mean, that worked pretty well for them, so yeah.
Might as well keep doing it, yeah.
Well, that second game definitely was not a fluke. We have the stats for it as well, and I think they kind of speak for themselves. You see in the Mind Control 1, 12, and 6, and you're like, okay, you know what? That guy didn't really have a game.
Yeah, Mind Control, bottom 3 net worth pretty much the whole game. You don't expect that from him. He's the kind of a guy that always bounces back, plays aggressive, but in this kind of a situation, he had a really bad lane and really hard to recover because OG is just controlling the map, taking it one objective by another, and there's not enough space to farm. Like, either you win a team fight and then you get a farm, or you're not getting any farm at all.
Yeah, because the Tidehunter just wants to sit in one lane, like, cool, you have a Ravage, you TP in your fight, but you just want to sit in one lane and occupy that. And the fact that you couldn't, because there's a Monkey King jumping at you, an Ember running at you, you can never just TP out. You're just kind of dead in the water at that point.
Yeah, getting in the water. I don't know how I'm going to transfer that to Casey and Slacks, but I'm going to try. How's the weather out there?
Oh, the weather is fine. How we doing, party people? We're going to talk to as many people as we can. Wait a minute. So, is there anything else you have to say other than,
Yeah.
Come on!
I can't say much anymore. I've almost lost my voice.
There's a big group of you here.
Group, and we're trying to be the loudest.
And you all don't know each other.
We don't know each other. We've met behind the casters table. That's where we met.
Yeah?
Every game we come down there, all around the world. That's where we go on every stream.
All of the streams. That's basically it.
So how do you rank this TI?
Oh, insane!
It's been ridiculous. Just like the most hype. OG had the best story of any team ever, and they're here. We're here in the grand finals. It's crazy.
Hi. Well, we just want to say that, you know, this game between Liquid and OG here, right? Yeah, this is the game right here. So, catch your X's round.
OG!
Your moves, Direction Flag.
All right. We got some other fans down here. Guys, I want to get more analytical. What do you think about that last series? I'm going down here. Hello. What do you think of the series?
No, okay, everything is perfect. I mean, this TI is awesome, really awesome.
We're
really excited to be here.
Where are you guys from?
Chile.
Chile! Wow! All the way from Chile. What kind of flight is that?
Well, kind of flag of this guy?
Not flag, I said flight. How long did it take you to get here?
Around 20 hours or something.
20 hours. Worth it?
Yeah, well, worth it.
Totally worth it, always.
I've been in TI since like 2015. Yeah, so.
Yes. All right, sir. I got a question for you. We got a Liquid fan here. Liquid lost that last game. Why do you think Liquid lost?
Well, okay. To me, Liquid's pick feels like, like some sort of TI3 LGD pick with so much mass control and everything. But OG just counters it perfectly with all of the mobility heroes such as Amber Spirit and Grimstroke and Monkey King and everything.
Quite an analytical answer. Myself, I would have said it a little bit faster. For me, I would have said that they failed to ban Anna. Oh. I've been holding on for this for 2 weeks, and that's for you. Now eat it.
Oh, well.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't eat it. All right. Anyway, hey, let him keep his banana. That's treasure. He can sell that for a lot of money. Guys, we're having a lot of fun in the audience. We hope you guys are too, and we hope our panel is having a blast. Let's go!
Thank you. Thank you, Casey and Slack. We certainly are having a blast. And to be honest, the best moment is when the guy from Chile is like, what's that flight like? And he just had the flag ready. He thought it was, what's the flag like? It's like this. He just had it.
Yeah, he did. It's awesome, though. 20-hour flight. He's been to every TI since TI5, it sounds like, to that kind of commitment. That's why it's called the International, right? It's great.
Dedication definitely shows.
Yeah, I'm a bit afraid for my job after that last Liquid fan said
Was he
all
spot
about
on?
the game. Yep.
Yeah, I actually saw.
I might get replaced
Sorry, I
actually
actually
after
saw
this
them.
game.
They were waving you over, and you tried to look away.
He brought it back to TI3 with some LGD style. Like, he had the history in there too, gods.
I was impressed. Look.
All right, we're going to have a game 3 very soon. We already know that it's guaranteed, you know, no 3-game series. Not again, Liquid's not going to get a chance to repeat that one. I must say, though, in the game so far, OG has looked like the more dominant team.
Yeah, I would agree.
Fair to
with that.
say?
I would
Yeah?
agree with that. Yeah, with the Spectre and everything, like they should have maybe won that late game. You know, a couple mistakes from both teams, though, right? That's the pressure building up. That's what makes Dota great. And well, we'll have to see if Liquid, they're going to have to draft. I agree with that. You can't just draft that much team fight and then go against low cooldowns. You just can't.
No, you really want to prepare for late game, though. I mean, that's, I guess, where that comes from, because OG is a scary team late game. You gotta walk a balance there. And that is, well, they're going to walk something. Not a balance at the moment, but they're soon going to walk back into their pods. That's where they're walking towards. And it's going to be a very exciting game number 3. I feel like the roller coaster has already begun. I can't wait for the continuation of that one. Here they go. Team Liquid. Team Liquid only dropping 1 game on the main stage before these grand finals. Impressive to say the least. And then OG, the upper bracket champions, the team that looks most comfortable in these booths. I feel like we're talking a lot about mental warfare and just the pressure that comes with playing on a grand stage like this in front of the fans for millions of dollars. And you gotta wonder, you gotta ask yourself, is it just gonna come down to that, just to be the one that is more lucky go happy, which seems to be OG.
You see Seb and Notel walking out on the stage. That's the kind of friendship, you know, everyone wish they have. That is just the guy who's going to have the other guys back at all times. And OG, they really have mental fortitude.
They really do. And they had it already before going into this TI when Casey sat down with them.
Notel, Seb. Gosh, those names sound familiar. Why? Where do I feel like I've... You know what it is? I feel like this looks familiar next to you guys. Returning TI8 champions. Is it the same way that you left it?
Looks the same to me. Yeah. Maybe there's a few changes on the back. I hope there better be.
It's missing also a couple of people around it. Last time I saw it, it was like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like in the days and the months following TI when you've won versus when you've left something there? I mean, everybody we've talked to in this couch talks about that being the one thing they want to do and the ability to look back and wish they had done things differently. What is it like to not have that?
Life has been very relieving for me ever since. There's been that one thing that was there for a very long time that was no longer there in a way, like an underlying kind of pressure or question whether or not you're competent or you have the ability to do what you set yourself to do.
You dream about it, you wake up, you work towards that, you know, it's like your life is about that. Once you actually do it, it becomes harder to go for it because it's not as obvious. You have to, it has to come within yourself. Like you have to kind of craft it. You know, this fire, this motivation, and you know the people that are gonna go up against you, right? You know how bloodthirsty they are. You're like, nothing's gonna stop them. Nothing is stopping them. If you're on the way, well, you better get up.
Magnus is especially annoying too because Zed plays it, not the position 4. Usually when there's a Magnus, you can like fast tempo and like have such a huge advantage from the early mid game, but since offlaner plays it from OG, like it's pretty hard to do that.